Chapter 2155. Qi Fang revealed a sinister sneer as he faced Old Ancestor Yellow Spring and the others. Trash like you actually dared to stand in my way. This is already the greatest disrespect you have shown me. In front of the army of the demon martial world, all of you can only die. Qi Fang waved the halberd in his hand. Instantly, the wind and clouds in the world changed, and the sun, moon, ghosts, and gods were startled. Boom, boom, boom. In the blink of an eye, the formations surrounding the Yellow Springs battle mansion were shattered. This was a huge blow to the defense of the battle mansion. Not being able to repair the formations was equivalent to being in a dangerous situation. So. Suddenly, Sword Qi soared into the sky, and the Heavenly Emperor's sword appeared in midair. It was Yi Wushuang who had attacked. Before the Celestial Emperor, the arrogant will die. Yi Wushuang, who had inherited Yi Chen's personality, attacked the Qi Fang demon general aggressively. Ha ha, a little kid wants to be arrogant in front of me? I'll kill you first. The Qi Fang demon general sneered. Then, he suddenly attacked with the red halberd in his hand. Scarlet Storm, blood-drinking halberd. A majestic halberd descended and charged at Yi Wushuang. Heavenly Dharch sword, universe-severing. Yi Wushuang was furious. Sword Qi shot into the sky and gathered into a majestic sword shape. It charged at the crimson halberd instantly. The energy of both sides was extremely huge. As they clashed head-on in the sky, in an instant, the wind and clouds rose, and sand and pebbles flew everywhere. Countless sword Qi and halberd gleams collided and disappeared. However, Yi Wushuang's foundation was not strong enough after all. Qi Fang's power shook the sky and shattered the majestic sword form instantly. Wushuang. Seeing this scene, the old ancestor acted decisively. With the support of the underworld sword, he attacked the Ji in the sky. Ah! Elder Ancestor forcefully resisted the halberd light and was instantly sent flying 1,000 feet away. Patriarch. Yi Wushuang frowned and flew to catch the Patriarch. Ah! On the battlefield, the experts of the Netherworld Battle Mansion all revealed terrified expressions. They had never seen such a powerful person before. He was an expert from the upper planes of the demon martial world. In the face of such an existence, they were just like ants. The situation was extremely urgent. If this continued, the entire Yellow Springs battle mansion would be destroyed. Ha ha! It's useless for all of you to resist. Just surrender obediently. Humph, Scarlet Demonic General, when Master returns, you will die a horrible death. Master? Who is it? Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen. Sky Emperor? Ah, I'm dying of laughter. Looks like it's that kid from the rumors. Unfortunately, all his arrogance is useless in my eyes. So long as he dares to come, then I'll crush him to death. Impudent! Yi Wushuang attacked furiously, but he was still no match for Qi Fang. Qi Fang threw a punch, and Yi Wushuang was sent flying. Fortunately, he survived thanks to the Heavenly Emperor sword's physique. The scene was terrifying. Even the Patriarch and Yi Wushuang were no match for him, so how would the remaining people dare to attack? Die with the Celestial Emperor in your hearts. Really? Just as the Qi Fang demon general brandished the halberd in his hand and was about to make a move of destruction, his true body suddenly appeared above the 9 heavens. A thunderous dragon roar shook the heavens and earth. Boom! Thunder rumbled and lightning flashed. Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen descended from the sky. Sensing the strength of this energy, the Scarlet Fang demon general sent a backhand strike towards the sky. Come on! However, Yi Chen casually waved his hand when he heard the disdainful tone. The rolling thunder palm flew out at high speed. The palm imprint suddenly descended, directly colliding with the Qi Fang demon general's halberd light. Rumble! There was a shocking explosion. The palm imprint moved like lightning and instantly broke the halberd before him. Who are you? The Qi Fang demon general asked in shock. Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen. Yi Chen descended from the sky like a god descending to the mortal world. His aura swept through the entire demonic world army, shaking it. Hearing Yi Chen's name, the Qi Fang demon general frowned slightly. He did not expect the rumored Yi Chen to be so powerful. With just a palm, he could destroy his halberd light attack. With such a foundation, how could he be an itinerant immortal? Moreover, according to the news, Yi Chen's cultivation base was only at itinerant immortal stage. How did he become a peak itinerant immortal now? This cultivation speed did not make sense at all. Filled with doubts, Qi Fang smirked and looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen, very well. I'll give you a chance to surrender now. Bow down before me and I'll spare your lives. Yi Chen suddenly raised his head and looked at the Qi Fang demon general in the sky. His eyes were incomparably sharp and filled with extreme murderous intent. In an instant, the Qi Fang demon general felt a chill run down his spine. It was a soul-piercing chill, as if he had fallen into the ice cavern of hell. Such power instantly triggered the Qi Fang demon general's killing intent. He was an upper-tier demon general of the demonic martial world. How could he be deterred by someone from the lower realm? D*eminent. Qi Fang waved the halberd in his hand again. The demon god's strike was right before him. Rumble! The majestic halberd light transformed into the form of a demon god, and a huge ghostly face appeared in the sky. Yi Chen, you dare to disrespect me. Death is a given. Ha ha ha, puny demon general, you're like an ant. Before the heavens, you should know how insignificant you are. Yi Chen laughed maniacally and withdrew his aura. Waves of powerful nether divine power returned to his Qi reserve. Following that, the heavenly dragon roar shook the sky. Heavenly dragon roar. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The nether divine power transformed into the form of a demon dragon and swept out. The sound of drums and thunder could be heard. Boom, boom, boom. Before Yi Chen's eyes, space exploded in a straight line. It was like a straight line of energy that shot toward the 9 heavens. What? The Qi Fang demon general was shocked. He waved the halberd in his hand countless times, trying to block the attack of the person before him. However, he was still too weak. Before the heavens, ants could only be killed. With a scream, the Qi Fang demon general's body stiffened. Following that, his entire body exploded. The sound of shattering could be heard as his bones were turned into ashes. Many demon warriors saw this scene and revealed a look of fear. Such power was like a demon king from hell, a primordial beast. Who would dare to provoke him? Seeing Yi Chen's arrival, the Patriarch and Wushuang were excited. Fellow Yi, you're back. The Patriarch shouted. Patriarch Wushuang, I've made you worry. This time, I've come to take care of these trash. Ha ha ha, great. The Patriarch laughed wildly and took out a pot of wine, waiting to celebrate. At this moment, the Qi Fang demon general was dead. The demon tribe army was in chaos and wanted to escape. Quick, quick, turn the rudder. On the demonic warship, some demon warriors began to turn the rudder and move toward the rear. Die. Yi Chen flew up to the 9 heavens. His speed was so fast that it was not even a blink of an eye. Heavenly Emperor Order, Mortal Sword Revolution. The Heavenly Emperor Sword Edge Endless Form. A thunderstorm swept out. Countless dragon-shaped storms were like the claws of hell, instantly locking onto the demonic warship. Boom, boom, boom. After a series of wild explosions, millions of demon soldiers on the demonic warship died. Blood flowed and dyed the entire demonic warship. The blood-red sky was the only proof of the immensity of heaven. Chapter 2156. Red Fiend Base in the main hall. Lord Qi Fang was killed by someone from the Netherworld Battle Mansion. What? Qi Hu and Qi Bao were stunned when they heard this news. Qi Fang was the strongest among the 3 of them, and he viewed the people of Yellow Spring Battle Mansion as ants. How could he be killed? They could not believe the news in front of them. Killed by who? Scarlet Leopard asked. The news says that this person is Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen. Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen? The two of them had a cold look in their eyes. They had naturally heard of this person, but they didn't expect him to be strong enough to kill Qi Fang. Red Tiger, what do you think? Yi Chen is a mysterious person. To be able to kill Qi Fang, his strength is unfathomable. We can only wait for reinforcements from the demon martial world. The demon world suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of this person. If we were to fail just like that, wouldn't we be throwing away the face of the demon martial world? One wrong step and the whole game will be lost. Qi Fang is a good example. We should be cautious. All right then. The duo nodded lightly. They thought that they should not look for Yi Chen at this time. At the Netherworld Battle House, Yi Chen's return was like a shot in the arm. The combatants who had been terrorized by the demon martial world before now returned to their normal selves. Especially after seeing Yi Chen kill Qi Fang, they all bowed their heads and worshipped him. Now, the Netherworld Battle Mansion and the Underworld were all under Yi Chen's control. Ha ha ha, fellow Yi, I'm really happy to be able to return this time. Are you satisfied with the celebratory feast I prepared for you? The Patriarch stretched out his hand and looked at the festive banquet in front of him. Since the Patriarch is making a move, it's naturally foolproof, Yi Chen said with a smile. Ha ha, fellow Taoist Yi is humorous. However, the demon martial empire will not let this matter rest. Besides, the primordial immortal empire has also sent people here before. Oh? What are they doing here? They're called the spiritual accumulation messengers. They're interested in the powerful spiritual accumulation stored in the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion. Spiritual accumulation? Yi Chen was confused when he heard that term. We've just received news that there's a spiritual accumulation valley in a dense forest in the Netherworld Battle Mansion. Inside the valley, there's a spiritual accumulation nurtured by powerful spiritual energy. This spiritual accumulation is an extremely rare resource that's very beneficial to cultivators' cultivation. The reason why Wushuang and I can improve so much is because of the spiritual accumulation. So magical? Master, the ancestor is right. The reason why we're able to break through the layers of itinerant immortal barriers is because of this spiritual accumulation. Yi Wushuang added. Very good. Then, your Empress shall take a look for herself. Master, I'll bring you there. After the banquet, Yi Wushuang, the Patriarch, and Yi Chen arrived at the Spirit Reserve Valley in the Netherworld Battle Mansion. The Spirit Nurturing Valley was located in the deepest part of the Battle House, in the Netherworld Rift Valley. Upon entering this dense forest, waves of spiritual qi rushed toward Yi Chen, resonating with the spiritual power in his body. His immortal power method began to operate automatically. Such a magical effect filled Yi Chen with curiosity. After all, he had just broken through to the peak bodiless immortal realm and wanted to stabilize his foundation. That's the Spirit Reservoir Valley. The old ancestor pointed at a rift valley and said, and Yi Chen nodded lightly and followed them to the Spirit Nurturing Valley. Upon entering the Spirit Accumulating Valley, the immortal force in Yi Chen's body burned even more intensely. It had already begun to automatically travel through his meridians. This strange phenomenon amazed Yi Chen. Looking at the rift valley below, Yi Chen gazed into the depths of the valley. He sensed waves of powerful spiritual power. This spiritual power was completely different from netherworld energy. It was a more fundamental existence. This filled Yi Chen with curiosity. All of you wait here. I'll go down and take a look. Fellow Yi, be careful. Wushuang and I have only entered the second level of the Rift Valley. The second level? How many levels are there in the Rift Valley? It's hard to say. I saw the words 18 spiritual pools on the walls of the Rift Valley. I don't know if that's a hint. 18 spiritual pools, ha ha, very good. Yi Chen laughed out loud. His voice shook the entire spirit-nurturing valley. Then, he leaped and directly jumped into the Rift Valley. The environment in the Rift Valley changed drastically. It was completely different from what he had sensed before. This was a change in time and space. It was obvious that this place was either protected by an extremely powerful formation or a natural creation. It should not be underestimated. Yi Chen focused on sensing the changes in the surrounding airflow and energy. Soon, he realized that the closer he got to the bottom of the Rift Valley, the more strange energy fluctuations he encountered. These energy fluctuations became stronger and stronger, directly triggering the spiritual power in Yi Chen's body. 9th Tier Itinerant Immortal Rule Activate. Yi Chen activated the 9th Tier Itinerant Immortal power in his body and released multiple rules. Soon, he received a response from within the Rift Valley. Many patterns appeared on the walls around the Rift Valley. These patterns were not ordinary stone carvings but mysterious runes. These runes contained the power of the spiritual pool. Whoosh! Yi Chen leaned against a rock wall and slowly touched the patterns with one hand. Buzz, buzz, buzz! After a moment of contact, the spiritual pool in the runes sensed Yi Chen's power and instantly began to react. Yi Chen felt waves of spiritual origin surging in his meridians. This spiritual origin was a manifestation of the spiritual pool entering Yi Chen's meridians. These spiritual pools could instantly trigger the spiritual power in Yi Chen's body to circulate at an extremely high speed. This circulation speed was at least 10 times faster than Yi Chen's previous normal state. In other words, with the support of the spiritual pool, Yi Chen's strength could increase by nearly 10 times. Right now, he was only on the 4th level of the spirit-nurturing valley. The 4th level can increase my power by 10 times. How amazing! I'd like to see how many more surprises you can give me. Yi Chen's body continued to descend. He thought he could quickly break through a few levels, but soon, he stepped on an iron plate. He looked down and only saw an endless void of darkness. However, he was obviously stepping on a space. Sensing the energy distribution in this space, Yi Chen found that the space was very uniform like a superplane. Is this the barrier between the levels that the patriarch ancestor mentioned? This was the most reasonable explanation. However, he did not step on any barrier in the previous 4 levels. This could be the difference between talent. The patriarch ancestor and Wushuang stepped on the barrier on the 1st level. Ah! Yi Chen shouted coldly. Suddenly, the divine power sky-shaking step was unleashed. Rumble! The vast energy hit the barrier and caused a great tremor. However, Yi Chen felt that the space under his feet did not move at all. Such a strong defense attracted Yi Chen's interest. Ha, very good. This makes the challenge more interesting. Facing such a shocking phenomenon, Yi Chen did not feel tired at all. Instead, he was very excited. This was the demeanor of a king. Chapter 2157. 9 Transformations of the True Spirit, Primordial Demonic Ape. With a roar, heaven and earth shook and the mountains and rivers shattered. Yi Chen transformed into the demonic ape and punched the ground below. Rumble! The sky was filled with killing intent and rocks smashed against the shore. The power of the demonic ape instantly shattered the barrier before him, and Yi Chen entered the 5th layer Rift Valley. After entering the 5th layer Rift Valley, there was a qualitative change in the space. Yi Chen could clearly sense the power of the previous 4 layers of Rift Valley. As a result, the Chi Corona in the previous 4 layers of Rift Valley appeared. Buzz, buzz, buzz. It was a different space, but Yi Chen could see the Chi Corona in the previous 4 layers of Rift Valley hovering in the air. The power of these Chi Corona was extremely strong. Yi Chen could even feel the various forces flowing in his meridians were summoned by the Chi Corona. They all turned into bloodthirsty beasts and roared, wanting Yi Chen to obtain the Chi Corona in the space. Even Yi Chen's martial Tao heart became violent and uncontrollable. No wonder even the people of the world of magic and martial arts want to obtain the chi corona. No one can control this desire. However, this is a heaven-defying action. No force can control my mind. Yi Chen let out a long roar. Immediately, the heart of the Nether God released the Nether divine power. Yi Chen's mind entered a super-strong state. His consciousness was unparalleled and began to destroy the chi corona in the state of consciousness. If these chi corona cultivated in this place for a long time, they would have a spirit. They constantly wanted to enter the meridians of the human body just to find their host and occupy the host's mind, turning the host into their slave. As a heavenly emperor, Yi Chen still had this bit of experience. If he wanted to obtain the chi corona without being eroded by the chi corona, then he must first ensure that his martial will must be stronger than the eroding will of the chi corona. Naturally, the Nether divine power was the greatest source of support for this. In the state of consciousness, the shadow of the Nether God bloomed and forcefully suppressed the chi corona. Subsequently, Yi Chen floated in the air. A lotus bloomed under his feet and thousands of golden rays shot into the sky. For chi corona, come. Yi Chen summoned Sky Serpent and Furious Roar. Immediately, the two ferocious beasts revealed themselves. There was chaos in front of them as a dark vortex opened. In front of the fierce duo phantoms, a huge black whirlpool produced a strong suction force and started to devour the spirit accumulation core in the four-layered rift valley. The four great spiritual roots were absorbed into the dark whirlpool. Then, they crazily rushed toward Yi Chen's consciousness. They wanted to occupy Yi Chen's mind as soon as possible so that they could control his body. Kakik. In Yi Chen's consciousness, the spiritual core that was the fusion of the four great spiritual accumulations turned into four different colors and appeared in the air. You think you've obtained our power, but in reality you're already our puppet. That's right. A disbanded celestial actually dared to absorb the power of our four great spiritual accumulations at the same time. How arrogant! 4 great spiritual cores. Not even a peak true immortal can fight against us. Just obediently hand over control of your body. We have been waiting here for 10,000 years. Finally, we can find a suitable body. Ha ha ha. The 4 great spiritual pools smirked sinisterly and looked at Yi Chen's primordial spirit in the state of consciousness. Ha. Just when the 4 great spiritual cores were about to devour Yi Chen's primordial spirit, a scornful laugh was suddenly heard. Yi Chen opened his eyes and looked at the 4 great spiritual cores. You think you can take my primordial spirit? What a fool's dream! You! It was the first time the 4 great spiritual cores had met such an arrogant person. Of course, the more arrogant a person was, the stronger his consciousness would be and the stronger his talent would be. This was a good thing for the spiritual cores. This arrogant kid. Let's finish this quickly and destroy his primordial spirit. You're right. I can't be bothered to waste time with him. The 4 great spiritual cores unleashed their power at the same time. Waves of spiritual accumulation began to absorb the spiritual energy in Yi Chen's consciousness. This was something Yi Chen had not expected. In his realm of consciousness, these spiritual cores acted as if they were his own territory. He could directly absorb psyche energy from the environment. Moreover, if they did not absorb any of his psyche energy, the power of his primordial spirit would weaken. It seemed that Yi Chen had to kill these 4 spiritual cores as soon as possible. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yi Chen absorbed the nether divine power in his meridians and began to strengthen his primordial spirit. Then, the heavenly emperor's sword floated above his head. Slash. The sword took shape and slashed down without hesitation. Useless. However, the 4 great spiritual cores were not afraid. They released a beam of psychic light and instantly shattered Yi Chen's heavenly emperor's sword. This level of power made Yi Chen feel that the 4 great spiritual cores were not just for show. They could really kill a peak true immortal's primordial spirit easily. He could not hold back anymore. Ancient God Heart Cultivation Method. Yi Chen activated the Ancient God Heart Cultivation Method. The 5 great astral powers of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth were all infused into Yi Chen's consciousness. The 5 great divine swords hovered around Yi Chen and aimed at the 4 great spiritual cores. 5 elements divine swords. You've cultivated such a divine technique. This kid's talent is extraordinary. We can't hold back this time. All right. The 4 great spiritual cores had already sensed that Yi Chen was different. The 5 elements divine swords were too threatening. They had to end this battle quickly. 4 spirits converge, deity obliteration. The core of the Qi fountain shimmered with a strange light. The energy in Yi Chen's meridians was gathering toward the 4 great spiritual cores. Not only could the Qi fountain attack Yi Chen's consciousness directly, but it could also absorb the energy in Yi Chen's meridians with its unique characteristic. This was the troublesome part. Don't even think about it. At the same time, Yi Chen activated the primordial spirit's strongest psychic energy and forcefully absorbed the energy in his meridians to resist the 4 great spiritual cores' strongest attack. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, you're dead. I don't even know if you're dead or alive. You're just a bunch of little elves. How dare you have any ideas about me? Return to me. The Ancient God Heart Cultivation Method continued. The power of Yi Chen's primordial spirit was incomparably powerful. The speed at which he absorbed the various energies in his meridians quickly surpassed the 4 great spiritual cores. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Various energies gathered in the primordial spirit. Yi Chen tossed his hands and the immortal slaying flying saber and heavenly emperor sword were unsheathed at the same time. The 2 divine weapons hovered above the consciousness, locking onto the 4 great spiritual cores and attacking aggressively. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The shadows of the swords and sabers formed a killing formation. Like a net, they shot toward the 4 great spiritual cores. This person's power of primordial spirit has surpassed that of a peak true immortal. This is too strange. It's impossible for the 4 of us to succeed. The only way is to awaken the 5th Qi fountain. That's the only way. Initially, the 4 great spiritual cores did not want to share control of Yi Chen's body with the 5th Qi fountain. However, at this moment, they could not rely on their own strength to fight Yi Chen. The only way was to seek help from the 5th Qi fountain. Chapter 2158. Great 5th Spiritual Pool, Wake Up! Suddenly, the 4 spiritual pools initiated the summoning ritual at the same time. Powerful spiritual energy swept across the area and the 5th spiritual pool was awakened. Suddenly, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Rumble! In the sky, the 5th spiritual accumulation condensed into a thunderstorm, carrying with it an unparalleled might. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle! Amidst the thunderstorm, the 5th spiritual pool turned into a human and appeared in front of Yi Chen. Ha ha ha! The 5th spiritual pool laughed and looked at Yi Chen. It had been sealed in this place for too long. Finally, it saw a cultivator. Its face was filled with greed. It looked at Yi Chen as if he was looking at a prey that it had yearned for. Yi Chen felt his power stagnate. He knew that after being locked by the astral root, the various powers in his meridians would be inexplicably restricted. This restriction would increase with the increase of the astral root's level. Go to hell! The 5th spiritual pool attacked. At this moment, the 4 spiritual pools in Yi Chen's consciousness state had sinister smiles on their faces. As long as the 5th spiritual pool restricted Yi Chen's movement and entangled him, they would have the chance to invade Yi Chen's mind and make him their slave. Ha ha ha! We will quickly control Yi Chen's mind. That's right. The 4 spiritual pools began to disintegrate Yi Chen's mind from the inside while the 5th spiritual pool attacked from the outside. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle! The 5th spiritual pool began to gather the energy in the surrounding space. Yi Chen felt his body moving uncontrollably toward the fifth spiritual pool. It was a terrible feeling, as if his soul was being controlled and falling into an abyss, unable to get out. Yi Chen shouted angrily. Suddenly, thunder rumbled in all directions and countless alternate dimensions appeared. These alternate dimensions were the best way for Yi Chen to block the power of the spiritual pool. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. However, at this moment, the fifth spiritual pool shot toward the energy cannon. Its target was Yi Chen. Facing such a powerful energy cannon, Yi Chen gathered all his strength and formed a dragon energy shield in front of him to resist. The forces of both sides clashed in midair. Although the surrounding alternate dimension had greatly reduced the power of the energy-charged cannon, Yi Chen still felt the invasion of the destructive power that tore his body apart. This kind of power consumed a lot of energy in Yi Chen's body and instantly affected the resistance of his consciousness realm. Naturally, the four major spiritual accumulations could sense that Yi Chen's body had become very weak and the energy density in his body had greatly decreased. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that symbolized the success of the four major spiritual accumulations plan. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, you're dead this time. The four great spiritual accumulations spread their sharp claws and began to control Yi Chen's 8 extraordinary meridians. At the same time, they invaded his spiritual world. Both Yi Chen's body and mind were greatly threatened at the same time. The ancient divine power in Yi Chen's body automatically protected his body. The black gold glaze form instantly prevented the four great astral cores from siphoning energy from his meridians. What? The four spiritual accumulations were shocked. They did not expect Yi Chen to have such a trump card. Under the restriction of the black gold glaze body, not only did it make it difficult for the four spiritual accumulations to absorb energy from his body, but it also made it difficult for the four spiritual accumulations to absorb energy from his body. The ancient god power restricted the four spiritual accumulations' movements and trapped them like canaries in a cage. Yi Chen. The four major spiritual accumulations roared at the same time and frantically tried to absorb Yi Chen's energy. However, they could not do it. The black gold glaze form had already frozen the time and space in Yi Chen's body, causing trouble for the four major spiritual accumulations who were good at controlling spatial energy. After suppressing the energy of the four major spiritual accumulations, Yi Chen began to focus on fighting the enemy before him. Fifth spiritual accumulations, kneel before me. That's your only way out. Ha ha ha, arrogant brat. Before me, your body is the best vessel for me. Is that so? Be careful that you can't eat it. Yi Chen's eyes widened. Suddenly, waves of nether divine power rushed out. The apparition of the nether god appeared behind him and stretched out its sharp claws, instantly locking onto the fifth spiritual accumulations. Nether divine power? Very good. The fifth spiritual accumulations knew about the nether divine power. This made Yi Chen realize that perhaps the nether god had been here before. You know the nether god? Yi Chen asked. Ha ha ha, the nether god is indeed a powerhouse. We wanted to invade his mind, but we were used by him to absorb our spiritual accumulations. Unfortunately, even he can't truly control us. Is that so? If the nether god can't do it, then let me do it. Boast. The energy core of the fifth spiritual accumulations shone with a golden light. Suddenly, all the hidden energy in the surrounding space gathered toward his body. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. In an instant, countless thunderbolts turned into various divine weapons and locked onto Yi Chen. Very well, bring it on. Faced with this thunderbolt attack that was no weaker than the heavenly tribulation, Yi Chen's ancient divine power erupted from his body, and the black gold glaze form released a black golden light. Countless thunderbolts struck Yi Chen's body like raindrops, but Yi Chen was not afraid at all. It was as if he was purposely using these thunderbolts to wash his face and body. Ah! His maniacal laughter resounded throughout the world. Even the fifth spiritual accumulations was greatly shocked by Yi Chen's arrogance. There's such a talent in this world. Very well, he's the best vessel for me. His goal was still the same. It was to devour the embryo in front of him and turn it into a host body. 5 spiritual accumulations. Suddenly, the fifth spiritual accumulations unleashed its most powerful heart technique. The 4 spiritual accumulations in Yi Chen's body were summoned at the same time. Waves of energy surged toward the outside world. What? Yi Chen was shocked. He did not expect that the fifth spiritual accumulations could not only fight on its own but also summon the other 4 spiritual accumulations. He felt that the 4 spiritual accumulations were completely restricted by the fifth spiritual accumulations. The primordial spirit of the 4 spiritual accumulations in his consciousness had begun to dissipate and was forcibly breaking through to the outside world. This kind of breakthrough was carried out by the power of time and space. Soon, the power of the 4 spiritual accumulations was forcibly pulled out of Yi Chen's body by the fifth spiritual accumulations. The 4 spiritual accumulations screamed in pain as they were forcefully pulled out by the fifth spiritual accumulations through a secret technique. The 4 spiritual accumulations were also shocked. They had never encountered such a situation before. The fifth spiritual accumulations, what's going on? The 4 spiritual accumulations questioned him. Ha ha ha, you only know that the spiritual accumulations devour cultivators' bodies and minds, turning them into hosts and slaves. But you don't know that the spiritual accumulations devour each other. Now, the 4 spiritual accumulations are going to become my food. Let us become one and become a spiritual accumulations. What did you say? Hearing this, the 4 spiritual accumulations were stunned. They had never heard of such a thing. Otherwise, the 4 spiritual accumulations would not be so harmonious. With a loud shout, the fifth spiritual accumulations unleashed a secret technique and began to restrict the 4 spiritual accumulations. Chapter 2159. Under the influence of the secret technique, the 4 astral cores felt that their powers were greatly restricted. They could not describe this restriction. It was as if a chain had appeared in the depths of their souls, preventing them from moving. As the chain continued to work, the 4 astral cores felt their primordial spirit being gradually devoured by the fifth astral core. Ha ha ha! At this moment, the fifth astral core was laughing maniacally. Its power continued to increase. After absorbing the power of the other 4 astral cores, it had been reborn. The fifth astral core. Yi Chen's eyes were sharp as he looked at the fifth spiritual pool. He did not expect this to happen. Yi Chen, you punk, I'll make sure you die here today. The fifth astral core was already an extremely powerful existence. Its body emitted a astral glow. Yi Chen could feel the energy in his meridians gradually rushing toward the fifth astral core. Kill! Yi Chen knew that he could not just sit and wait, so he flew toward the fifth astral core. At this moment, countless astral core warriors appeared around Diwu Lingyun. Kill! The astral core warriors quickly transformed into an army of millions in the blink of an eye. The fifth astral core sneered. Yi Chen, I'll show you my astral core warriors. The countless astral core warriors were like an army of ants. They were powerful and insufferably arrogant. Slash! Yi Chen held the Heavenly Emperor sword in his hand and slashed forward. Suddenly, a majestic sword ray rushed toward the astral core warriors. The sword ray exploded with powerful energy. However, when the energy came into contact with the astral core warriors, it was absorbed by them. These astral core warriors had some characteristics of the fifth astral core, so it was not difficult for them to absorb energy. What? Yi Chen's heart trembled. He was in big trouble now. Ha ha ha, your power is the source of my power. Yi Chen, you're dead. Become my slave. Don't even think about it. Yi Chen would not become someone else's puppet. He wanted to do the opposite. Not only would he not become the puppet of the fifth astral core, but he would also become the master of the fifth astral core. Go! With a series of punches, Yi Chen flew out and attacked the astral core warriors with his body-strengthening ability. As expected, the astral core warriors could not absorb the body-strengthening ability. Boom, boom, boom. The astral convergence warriors were killed by the fist gleam. Subsequently, Yi Chen released the heavenly serpent and the furious hound to absorb the astral convergence energy before him. As the spiritual pool entered his meridian, Yi Chen released his nether divine power to cut off his connection with the outside world. This way, the spiritual pool that was absorbed into his body would not be affected by the fifth spiritual pool. Instead, it would help Yi Chen. Kill. Yi Chen tossed the Heavenly Emperor's sword out directly. The blade spun between heaven and earth, continuously releasing nether divine power. With that, the fifth spiritual pool entered the formation that Yi Chen had designed. You want to trap me? How naive! After absorbing the power of the four spiritual accumulations, the fifth spiritual accumulation was already at the peak of the perfected immortal realm. At the same time, the power of the spiritual accumulations was clearly much stronger. Spirit accumulation. The fifth spiritual accumulation released the spiritual accumulation power in his body and formed a divine weapon in front of him. The celestial Dharch sword. This. Yi Chen looked ahead and realized that the Heavenly Emperor's sword was exactly the same as his own. Moreover, the energy flowing within it seemed to be the same as well. This strange phenomenon shocked Yi Chen deeply. At this moment, the other party had released the Heavenly Emperor's sword and was fighting Yi Chen's Heavenly Emperor's sword in midair. After that, the fifth spiritual pool directly locked onto Yi Chen. Yi Chen, you can't escape from my control. After that, the fifth spiritual pool directly rushed toward Yi Chen. It wanted to break the restriction of the nether divine power around Yi Chen and directly use the spiritual accumulation law to interfere with Yi Chen's mind and devour him. Ah! Yi Chen activated the demon's eye. Instantly, the surrounding space fell into the underworld god space. In the underworld god space, every movement of the fifth spiritual pool was under Yi Chen's control. However, the other party's movement seemed to be mysterious. In the underworld god space, it was not restricted at all. Nether divine power. With his entire body covered with nether divine power, Yi Chen was not afraid of the fifth spiritual pool. The two of them collided head-on. Boom, boom, boom. In the first round of collision, both of them used the same fist technique. This made Yi Chen more certain that the spirituality machine spear had the ability to imitate. As long as his divine power came into contact with the spirituality machine spear, he would immediately learn the divine power and secret technique. Such a shocking characteristic was indeed amazing. The two of them used the same divine power and secret technique and fought for a long time, but there was no result. However, as the spirituality machine spear became more proficient in controlling Yi Chen's divine power and secret technique, the advantage of the spirituality machine spear's foundation showed. After all, the spirituality machine spear was a divine item that absorbed the essence of heaven and earth. After cultivating here for tens of thousands of years, its cultivation base was extremely high and its mind energy was even stronger. Even a mystic immortal would not be a match for such a super powerhouse, let alone Yi Chen, who was only at the peak of the itinerant immortal stage. Although it was a tough battle, Yi Chen understood that after obtaining such a spirituality machine spear, his strength would definitely improve. It was necessary to fight against the people of the world of magic and martial art. Fifth spiritual pool, I allow you to fight. Suddenly, Yi Chen stopped hesitating and stopped dodging. He directly faced the fifth spiritual pool. At this moment, Yi Chen had no protection and walked toward the fifth spiritual pool like an ordinary person. The fifth spiritual pool was surprised to see Yi Chen in this state. What is this kid trying to do? Fighting me in this state, Is he going to give up his cultivation base? Although it was confused, the fifth spiritual pool had no reason to be afraid. It stood where it was and waited for Yi Chen to attack. Yi Chen did not attack. Instead, he just walked toward it. The fifth spiritual pool was furious. Damn it! The fifth spiritual pool moved as fast as lightning and grabbed Yi Chen's shoulders. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Suddenly, the spirituality machine force began to take effect. Waves of spirituality machine force entered Yi Chen's meridians and kept absorbing his energy. At this moment, Yi Chen's heart was clear and his merit was complete. Golden lotuses were born. Primordial golden lotuses kept blossoming around Yi Chen. Then, Yi Chen used his body as a cauldron and built a blood-red battlefield. When the fifth spiritual pool realized the problem, it was already trapped in Yi Chen's cauldron and could not get out. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Time and space changed. The fifth spiritual pool and Yi Chen appeared in the blood-red cauldron at the same time. This was Yi Chen's blood dragon battlefield. It was a pure world of qi and blood that was created by Yi Chen's body-refining power. In this blood dragon battlefield, Yi Chen would not use any other energy except his own qi and blood. Fifth spiritual pool, let me see how powerful your body-refining power is. Yi Chen, how dare you plot against me? I'll kill you. Ha ha ha, show me what you've got. End of this chapter. Chapter 2160. Inside the dragon blood battlefield, Yi Chen was like a demon descending from the heavens. The blood was the ancient god's blood, which completely blocked the fifth Lingji's power. Kill! Yi Chen threw a punch and the shadow of an ancient giant appeared behind him. The punch was as heavy as Mount Tai and went straight for the fifth Lingji. Damn it! The fifth Lingji knew that it had fallen into Yi Chen's trap. Because of its carelessness, it had fallen into the dragon blood battlefield that Yi Chen had built. In this place, not only did Yi Chen use his qi blood force and body-refining force, but so did the fifth Lingji. In this battlefield, all energy and spells were restricted by the nether divine power. This was a battlefield where both the ancient god power and the nether divine power were fighting. This was the first time Yi Chen had used the combination of the ancient god power and the nether divine power. The laws of this battlefield were extremely complicated, but the attack was very simple. It was the purest body-refining force. Clang, clang, clang. The fists of both sides collided with each other on the ground, causing sparks to fly in all directions. The strength of both sides was unprecedented. It was the first time Yi Chen had seen such a violent body-refining force. It stimulated the ancient god blood in Yi Chen's body. Ah! With a roar, Yi Chen's body emitted the ancient god's light. His blood was boiling under the ancient god's law. Ancient god's wrath, dragon fang fist. Roar. Yi Chen threw a punch. Blood splattered in the sky and turned into the shadow of a dragon's fang, attacking the fifth Lingji. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, do you really think you can defeat me like this? At the same time, the fifth Lingji laughed and its body also emitted a blazing qi blood force. It was very similar to Yi Chen's and it even turned into the shadow of a dragon's fang. This state was the same as the previous attack. Ancient God's Wrath, Dragon Fang Fist. The same divine ability and the same astonishing blood energy exploded in the sky, causing the entire battlefield to shake. If it weren't for the restriction of the ancient god and underworld god laws, this kind of power would have long since collapsed. Yi Chen knew that his time was limited because the dragon blood battlefield would have a huge backlash. If he could not get rid of the fifth Lingji within an hour, he would suffer the backlash of the ancient god and the nether divine power. The consequences would be unimaginable. Fifth spiritual accumulation, you're really strong. But in my eyes, you can only submit. Suddenly, Yi Chen understood his nature and his entire body sank into an indescribable state of relaxation. In this state, the vital energy and blood in his entire body became quiet. Yi Chen's previously boiling battle intent was now subdued. Everything became so docile that even Yi Chen himself was surprised. This was the first time he had entered such a state. This was the state of Buddha's enlightenment. Damn it! For some reason, the fifth spiritual pool seemed to be terrified when it saw Yi Chen enter this state. It initiated an attack. Boom, boom, boom. Punch after punch landed on Yi Chen's body. However, upon a closer look, Yi Chen's entire body was covered in the heavenly snake roaring black tortoise form. Black tortoise cover, the powerful hammer strike of the fifth spiritual accumulation could only hit the black tortoise and had no effect. After Yi Chen entered this state of Buddha's enlightenment, the fifth spiritual pool's power seemed to be constantly draining away. It even seemed to be losing control of itself. Just as I expected, the fifth spiritual pool has established a resonance with me through some kind of method. This resonance allows it to use the power of my divine ability. Even if I use the pure energy of vital energy and blood, it can still imitate it. Now that I've entered this special state, the fifth spiritual pool can't imitate it. The state that Yi Chen had entered was the result of understanding the Buddha's heart method when he was the heavenly emperor. At that time, he did not think much of it, but now it came in handy. As Yi Chen entered deeper into this state, the power of the fifth spiritual pool became weaker. Due to the existence of the invisible resonance between them, the fifth spiritual pool could no longer escape from Yi Chen's control. Secret technique: retract. The fifth spiritual pool understood that if it continued to resonate with Yi Chen, it would be digging its own grave. It could only retract the resonance secret technique and try to attack again. However, at this moment, the fifth spiritual pool suddenly felt its body become sluggish. When it came to its senses, its body was already covered with a layer of black gold glaze. The black gold glaze seemed to have a life of its own as it kept extending and enveloping the fifth spiritual pool. No! The fifth spiritual pool shouted loudly, but it was useless. Its body and power had already been sealed by the black gold glaze. Law of devouring. After that, Yi Chen released the powerful law of devouring from the darkness pool. Instantly, waves of devouring power began to corrode the fifth spiritual pool's defense. In the beginning, the fifth spiritual kernel tried to resist. However, in the Blood Dragon battlefield, Yi Chen Feng used the ancient divine power and the nether divine power to strengthen it. The power of the pool of darkness was increased by 100 times, and the fifth spiritual kernel couldn't exert its power. Fifth spiritual pool, I've said that even you have to surrender to me. Yi Chen released the Heavenly Emperor's shadow and controlled the divine demon power. He instantly locked onto the core of the fifth spiritual pool. Thank you so much for helping me absorb the 4 spiritual pools this time. It saved me a lot of effort. You bastard! The fifth spiritual pool made its final counterattack. It released the power of the 5 spiritual pools, trying to fight back against Yi Chen. However, the power of the 5 spiritual pools was greatly restricted in the black gold glaze. It could not unleash its power at all. In the end, it could only be absorbed by the darkness pool. After absorbing the 5th spiritual pool, Yi Chen felt like his body had entered a furnace of refinement. It was burning wildly. Feeling the double destructive flames that burned his mind and body, Yi Chen knew that this was the strongest core of the 5th spiritual pool. Ancient God Heart Cultivation Method. Secret Buddha Technique. Yi Chen released the ancient divine power and the Heavenly Emperor's memory. He released the secret Buddha technique that he had learned tens of thousands of years ago. Suddenly, the Buddha's shadow appeared behind Yi Chen. It casually waved its hand and the power of great mercy covered the entire black gold glaze. It instantly suppressed the last bit of the 5th spiritual pool's ferocious nature and made it a part of Yi Chen's power, merging with the darkness pool. After refining the core's power, Yi Chen's meridians were instantly unobstructed. The power in his meridians merged and circulated more than 100 times faster. His foundation instantly soared. Rumble. With a deafening noise, Yi Chen flew out of the blood dragon battlefield. He had regained his original appearance. Ha ha ha, the power of the spiritual pool is indeed extraordinary. Yi Chen's eyes released the samadhi true fire. He stood in the flames, but the true fire did not touch his body. He was cultivating the body of warrior. Let's go. Yi Chen was not satisfied with absorbing the power of the fifth spiritual pool. He wanted to go deeper and see the ultimate secret of the soul accumulation valley. End of this chapter. Chapter 2161. After breaking through the barrier of the fifth spiritual pool, Yi Chen entered the middle layer of the spiritual pool. Here, the power of the spiritual pool was even stronger. All kinds of violent energy waves began to attack Yi Chen. The power of the spiritual pool rose and fell like waves in the ocean, constantly attacking the mind of the person inside. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. At this moment, the spiritual pool that Yi Chen had absorbed had begun to attack his meridians, causing all kinds of energy contained in it to become restless. This kind of restlessness was very difficult to suppress because it was a characteristic of the energy itself. The spiritual pool made the energy stronger and stronger, and it began to be released outside of Yi Chen's control. Waves of lightning energy caused the surrounding space to become extremely unstable. These lightning energy came from the 9 thunder gods. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Even Yi Chen's body was emitting the thunder god's shadow, making his body extremely majestic. The release of powerful energy caused the strong restlessness of the spiritual pool. The spiritual pool and spiritual power were twins. They had cultivated here for a long time and finally found a host body with such amazing talent like Yi Chen. How could they give up? He broke through the 5th barrier. This is the most powerful person in 100 years. Not bad. He's not bad to be able to reach this level. Ha ha ha. Various shrill sounds of the spiritual pool came from the space. Then, several spiritual pools appeared. These spiritual kernels were all mid-level spiritual kernels. Their strength was much stronger than the previous ones. Their greed for spiritual power was even greater. When they sensed Yi Chen, they could not stop themselves from devouring Yi Chen completely. The spiritual pool on the 6th level is no longer a one-on-one battle. Yi Chen immediately sensed the existence of at least 3 spiritual pools in this space. These spiritual pools were closely connected to each other, and they were locked on to his every move. With the previous battle experience, Yi Chen did not directly attack with the power of lightning because he knew very well that it would only make the spiritual pools overjoyed. They were existences that devoured energy. Brothers, devour this person and let us become the most powerful existence in the spiritual pool. Not bad, not bad. The 3 spiritual pools in the space began to target Yi Chen. Rays of spiritual light were released, forming something like a chain that shuttled around Yi Chen like a cage. Yi Chen could sense that these qi accumulations were completely different from the previous 5 layers. He could even sense that there was a paragon behind them. In his spiritual eye, Yi Chen saw that the spiritual light chains in the surrounding space had already been woven into a simple formation. Although the formation was simple, the way it was woven was exquisite. It used the least amount of spiritual power to weave the most efficient formation. This was something Yi Chen had never seen before. After obtaining the 8 Gates divine disc, Yi Chen's research on formations had reached an extremely high level. There were thousands of formations in his mind. Yi Chen could not help but be amazed by the formation before him. He subconsciously used the formation before him in the ancient god space to evolve a new formation. Are you still not going to submit to me? Yi Chen shouted coldly. Ah, ha. Mocking laughter came from the space, as if what Yi Chen said was the funniest thing they had ever heard. You heard it, this person wants us to submit. What an idiot. You've already fallen into our spiderweb, yet you still want us to submit. There must be something wrong with this person's head. As the qi accumulations mocked them, the spiritual light chains began to shrink. The center of the spiritual light chains was where Yi Chen was. Spider web? At that moment Yi Chen had an idea. Upon closer inspection, he realized that the formation that sealed his movements was indeed like a simple spider web. It used the least amount of materials to create the most enclosed formation. Whoosh! The Heavenly Emperor's sword appeared in Yi Chen's hand. He looked at the spider web formation around him coldly. Humph, you're too naive to think that such a formation can seal my movements. After seeing through the core of the formation, the Heavenly Emperor's sword moved. The sword gleamed and hit its target. Whoosh! The sword energy rushed out and the surrounding spider web spiritual light vibrated continuously. Then, several spiritual lights automatically shot out from the core of the formation and locked onto Yi Chen's Heavenly Emperor sword energy. Buzz buzz buzz! The three spiritual lights locked onto the sword energy before them in the most stable way and began to absorb the sword energy in a frenzy. This phenomenon made Yi Chen realize that although the formation looked simple, there were many changes within it that could not be seen on the surface. As the three entangled spiritual lights locked onto the sword energy that Yi Chen released, the sword energy was soon devoured by the spiritual light. Ha! Mocking laughter came from the space again. Facing such laughter, Yi Chen was not afraid at all. He secretly sensed the mysteries of the formation around him. While Yi Chen was fighting against the 6 layers of spiritual accumulations, a space barrier unfolded in the sky and a huge demonic warship rushed out. Rumble! The huge demonic warship was like a canopy that covered the sky. The entire Netherworld Battle Palace was shrouded in dark clouds. What's that? It's a demonic warship! The cultivators on guard saw the huge warship. It was much bigger than the demonic warship that attacked the Battle Palace. It was obvious that the scale of this invasion was incomparable to the previous one. Report to the Patriarch immediately. Yes. Many warriors ran toward the back to report the invasion of the demonic warship. The majestic demonic energy invaded the ground. In the blink of an eye, the demonic energy in the surrounding space had arrived. Many of the combatants who were flying felt a shadow gradually covering their path. Huh! They couldn't help but look up at the sky, a look of terror on their faces. Ah! In the sky, a demonic figure covered in demonic flames reached out a huge demonic claw and grabbed at them. Then, their bodies were involuntarily controlled by the demonic claw and they were dragged into the sky. Kacha, kacha, kacha! Following that, an even more terrifying scene happened. The captured cultivators became food for the giant demonic figure. Their bodies were torn apart and blood rained down. The Netherworld Battle Palace below fell into extreme panic at such a brutal scene. Ah! Maniacal laughter came from the demonic warship. The majestic power shook the surroundings and instantly destroyed many of the Netherworld Battle Palace's outposts. Retreat, retreat! The cultivators in the outpost began to run for their lives frantically. However, who could escape from the demonic claw? Die! The flaming demonic figure instantly shot countless fire pillars toward the ground. Each fire pillar had the power to devour heaven and earth. In an instant, the mountains above the Netherworld Battle Palace were covered in a sea of fire. Such a powerful force naturally alarmed the Patriarch of Hell. The Patriarch led the Battle Palace powerhouses and appeared one after another. Yi Chen, where are you? A majestic demonic voice came from the demonic warship, shocking everyone. Chapter 2162. Who are you? How dare you behave atrociously in my Netherworld battle mansion? The Patriarch of Netherworld flew up and stood on the peak. He looked at the demonic warship in the sky and shouted, "Ha ha ha!" A man walked out from the demonic warship. He was 10 meters tall with a green face and sharp fangs. His blood-colored skin looked like it was oozing blood. Waves of majestic demonic energy were released automatically. It was like a furnace between heaven and earth, extremely hot. Boom, boom, boom. The ground below could not withstand such power and exploded. The patriarch raised his eyebrows and launched a palm seal. Rumble! The majestic palm seal charged at the demon. However, the demon opened his eyes and the patriarch's palm seal exploded in the sky. What? The patriarch's heart skipped a beat. This person's cultivation base was far above his. It was very likely that he was someone who had surpassed perfected immortal. This was an unimaginable powerhouse in the netherworld. Yi Wuxiang raised his brows and flew up. Kill! Unparalleled slash of the heavenly emperor's sword. The majestic sword power carried the might of a heavenly emperor and swept across the entire space. The blood-colored demonic energy in the surrounding space shattered. Yi Wuxiang charged again with his sword. The demon in the sky glared at him coldly. Ha, you're quite capable, kid. However, you're still an ant before me. The demon's hair suddenly stood on end. Subsequently, countless demonic flames shot out from his head like rolling waves and attacked Yi Wuxiang. Such a divine ability had never been seen before. Moreover, its power was unimaginable. Ah! Yi Wuxiang protected his body with sword qi and retreated. However, the demonic flames did not seem to plan on letting him go. They continued to press forward and were even faster than before. Such power was beyond everyone's imagination. The powerhouses of the battle mansion below were shocked. Ancestor, this demon's strength is even stronger than Qi Fang's. Senior Yi isn't here, what should we do? That's right. Patriarch, this person is too powerful. Even Yi Wuxiang is no match for him. Soon, the powerhouses of the battle mansion had the intention to retreat. This was also within the patriarch's expectations. After all, these so-called powerhouses were all independent cultivators. They did not have proper cultivation methods, and their martial will was very loose. It was as difficult as ascending to heaven to get them to unite and be unswerving. If it were not for Yi Chen's powerful deterrence that made these people think that they had found a backer, many powerhouses would not have stayed here at all. Don't panic. Fellow Taoist Yi is still cultivating in the back mountains. As soon as she comes out, these fellows are nothing. They're all trash. Ancestor, don't be too arrogant. This demon's strength might be above Senior Ye's. What should we do? Bastard, boosting the morale of others while diminishing your own. Damn it. At such a time of unity, there was actually an expert who wanted to divide everyone's determination. The old ancestor naturally wouldn't forgive him. He would kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Boom. The palm imprint shot out, instantly locking onto that person's chest. That expert had no way to resist, and was immediately sent flying 10 zhang away, in unbearable pain. Anyone who retreats will end up like this person. Yes. No one dared to go against the Grand Elder, so they all revealed a fighting stance. At this moment, high up in the sky, Yi Wuxiang released the ultimate heavenly emperor sword might, but he could only fight the demonic flames to a standstill. The demons before him were truly powerful. Ha ha ha, I Qi Maoyuo, am the proudest demon general of the Red Demon clan. Hand over Yi Chen now, or all of you will die. The majestic voice shook the powerhouses below. Hearing this person's name, everyone looked at each other. Naturally, they did not know much about the people of the demon martial world. However, this person's aura was naturally more powerful than Qi Fang. This time, he was looking for Yi Chen, obviously to take revenge. In the 6th layer of the spirituality Rift Valley, Yi Chen was still entangled with the spider web formation. At this moment, as Yi Chen released several sword qi, the spider web formation had already changed. Dozens of spiritual lights were released from the core of the formation. Not only could these spiritual lights entangle and seal the sword qi, but they could even enter the formation on their own and become a part of the formation. Such an ability surprised Yi Chen. The spirituality of the spirituality essence was too strong. It had already infected all the surrounding energy, causing their forms to mutate. This was the case with this spiritual light. Yi Chen, become our host body. This is the most honorable way for you to die. How about it? The three human figures formed by the spiritual accumulations shouted at Yi Chen. Lowly spiritual creatures dare to negotiate with me? You're not worthy. Facing the powerful spirituality essence, Yi Chen's majesty did not diminish. The domineering attitude of a heavenly emperor leaped out. In an instant, the entire ground trembled. Waves of nether divine power erupted from Yi Chen's body, instantly cutting off the connection of the spirituality essence in the entire space. Kill. Yi Chen found an opportunity and slashed with his sword, directly targeting the core of the spider web formation. Oh no, he's trying to attack the core. Stop him. Kill. The spirituality envoy flew out and released his supernatural power, targeting Yi Chen. 6 Spirit Finger. The two Lingyun envoys who were blocking Yi Chen each released 3 spiritual light rays, combining into 6 spiritual light rays that went straight for Yi Chen. Yi Chen waved the Heavenly Emperor's sword in his hand and slashed the spiritual light mercilessly. However, after the spiritual light was slashed, its body did not shatter. After bouncing off, it quickly returned and continued to target Yi Chen. This method of action made Yi Chen realize that the spiritual light itself was a derivative of the spirituality essence. The control of spirituality was exquisite. If that's the case, let me try. Spirituality essence against spirituality essence. With a sneer, the 5 spirituality essence in Yi Chen's body exploded at the same time, turning into 5 sword chi that shot out. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sword chi shot everywhere and locked onto the 6 spiritual light rays at the same time. Both sides began a tug-of-war in the sky. Meanwhile, the sword chi was also formed by the spirituality essence. It completely obeyed the command of Yi Chen's divine consciousness. With a single thought, the sword technique changed. It was agile and extraordinary. Kill him, the spirituality envoy ordered, attracting the 6 spiritual light rays to attack. Yi Chen smirked slightly and remained calm. With a single thought, the 5 sword chi turned into a sword formation, allowing the 6 spiritual light rays to enter it. The cycle repeated and could not escape. Yi Chen's ingenious response surprised the Lingyun envoy. As Lingyun themselves, they naturally sensed that the sword chi Yi Chen unleashed was transformed from Lingyun. In fact, its power was even greater than their spiritual light. After all, the 5 rays of sword chi transformed into a sword formation, while the 6 rays of spiritual light relied on their instincts to kill the enemy. Is that all you've got? Facing the 3 spirituality envoys, Yi Chen mocked them. The 3's faces contorted in anger. A mere itinerant immortal dared to be so arrogant in their territory. Where was their dignity? Yi Chen, we'll let you die here today. We'll eat your body and we can still create a human body. When we leave this place, we'll kill you in the cruelest way possible. Oh? Ha ha ha. Should I pretend to be scared and cooperate with you? D*Eminent. Chapter 2163. The 3 Lingyun emissaries attacked again in anger. They activated the powerful Lingyun energy buried in the surrounding space, trying to break through the defense by force. However, Yi Chen's body also contained the 5 spiritual energy, so he had a natural resistance to the Lingyun energy. It was difficult to forcefully reverse the energy in Yi Chen's body. You evil people, I'll make all of you kneel today. Yi Chen locked his cold gaze on the Lingyun emissaries. The Lingyun energy in his body turned into sword chi and automatically floated around him. The sword chi followed Yi Chen's command and arranged themselves behind him. Finally, it evolved into a huge sword wheel. Each sword chi was in a specific position on the wheel. It looked ordinary, but in reality, it had evolved into a powerful sword array. Kill! With the order to kill, the sword wheel unleashed its power and rushed toward the Lingyun emissaries. Kill! The Lingyun emissaries were suppressed by Yi Chen. Their minds were in chaos and they were furious. They activated their strongest force and rushed toward Yi Chen. Rumble! Just as the sword wheel approached the Lingyun emissaries, the sword chi suddenly left the sword wheel. Only the sword wheel clashed with the Lingyun emissaries' power, while the sword chi flew up to the sky and spun down. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Following the impact of the sword chi, the Lingyun emissaries were injured by the sword chi and were pushed back hundreds of meters. You! The Lingyun emissaries gritted their teeth, hating Yi Chen. Following that, the sword wound began to evolve. Waves of black and gold glass exploded from the wound and quickly spread to the Lingyun emissaries' bodies. What is this? While the Lingyun emissaries were shocked, the black and gold glass quickly occupied their bodies and sealed the Lingyun energy. Withdraw. The black and gold glass obeyed Yi Chen's command and began to withdraw the Lingyun energy. With the support of the Lingyun energy, Yi Chen's ancient divine power was even more powerful. After absorbing the Lingyun energy, the Lingyun emissaries before him turned into ashes. At this moment, outside the Netherworld Battle Palace, a majestic battle vibration was transmitted into the Lingyun Valley. Yi Chen looked at the sky. Above the sky, waves of energy fluctuations appeared before him. Such power made Yi Chen immediately realize who his opponent was. Demon energy. Yi Chen was naturally familiar with the power of the world of magic and martial arts. Yi Chen, the Netherworld Battle Palace has been invaded by the world of magic and martial arts. Suddenly, the voice of spiritual accumulation came from the space. You know about the existence of the demon martial world. Looks like your knowledge far surpasses my imagination. You can't underestimate the existence of each of the 9 spiritual accumulations. The secret of the spiritual accumulations valley is not something you can find out. This emperor will eventually break through the 9 levels and find this truth. Let's talk after we get out of here alive. Now that the Lingyun envoy had been destroyed, the 6th Lingyun had personally made a move. The might of the majestic Lingyun had completely sealed off all the passageways. He was going to kill Yi Chen himself. Blocking this emperor's path, you deserve to die. Yi Chen was worried about the patriarch and Wushuang. Naturally, he did not want to be delayed. His black gold glazed body erupted. 2-star ancient god, black gold glazed sky. With a loud roar, Yi Chen unleashed the fundamental power of the origin of darkness. The surrounding space had completely fallen into the black gold glazed sky's domain. The restriction caused by the 6th spiritual kernel on Yi Chen was completely lifted. Instead, the 6th spiritual kernel was affected by the black gold glazed sky and suffered a backlash. Heavenly Dharch Sword, Human Sword Revolution. Yi Chen swung his sword and charged into the sky. Yi Chen, the 6th spiritual kernel, was furious. As long as it devoured Yi Chen's psyche, it could use Yi Chen's body to achieve supreme achievements. Now that its prey had escaped, one could imagine how it felt. It had been trapped in this place for tens of thousands of years, but still could not get out. After leaving the Lingyun Valley, Yi Chen could see the situation of the battle in the Netherworld Battle Mansion. In front of the Battle Mansion's mountain gate, Crimson Devil was arrogant and violent, intimidating everyone. At this moment, he was going to kill everyone to show the might of the Red Devils. I'll take back the dignity that Chi Fong that B** starred lost. Crimson Devil's eyes were scarlet. Above his head, waves of crimson demonic energy shot into the sky, forming a vast and boundless crimson sky. Within the crimson sky was Crimson Devil's domain. In this domain, he was the master, he was everything. All of you can only die in the crimson sky. This is your fate. Crimson Devil issued a death order to the people of the Netherworld Battle Mansion. Above the Crimson Devil sky, countless demonic energy surged and evolved into various demonic creatures, demonic energy, and demonic weapons. All of them attacked the Netherworld Battle Mansion's army. When the powerhouses of the Battle Mansion saw this scene, they were horrified. The Crimson Devil's pressure was too powerful. It was not something that their martial will could resist. Before they could use their killing moves, their minds had been destroyed by this pressure, and they became slaves under fear. No, we don't want to die. Please spare us, Lord Crimson Devil. Spare us, spare us. Many powerhouses of the Netherworld Battle Mansion had lost their dignity. They began to beg for mercy, hoping to become Crimson Devil's slaves. Ah! Such a scene was naturally what Crimson Devil Luo wanted to see. He wanted all these so-called powerhouses to become slaves and prostrate themselves at his feet. In this way, he would be the only ruler. This was what he wanted the most as the vanguard of the Red Devil clan. The humiliation of Qi Feng's annihilation would be washed away today. In that case, I'll give you a chance. Thank you, Lord Crimson Devil. Many powerhouses who had lost their will to fight knelt at Crimson Devil's feet, constantly worshipping him, hoping to spare their lives. Seeing this scene, the Patriarch of Netherworld was furious. He yelled at those who knelt, "You pieces of trash! How dare you kneel before such a demon? Do you think you can survive like this? You're just his slaves, trash that can be killed at any time. Don't you realize it? Patriarch of Netherworld, we don't have your backbone. Don't drag us down with you if you want to die. That's right, we're just cultivators living in the Netherworld Gate. What does it have to do with us if you want to die?" Many of those who knelt actually refuted the Patriarch of Netherworld. Such a scene made many powerhouses with backbone shake their heads. They did not expect there to be so many spineless people in an extremely cruel place like the Netherworld Battle Mansion. How sad! Crimson Devil laughed as he looked at the people below with a smug expression. "Why aren't you kneeling?" he yelled at the Patriarch of Netherworld and the other powerhouses. "Crimson Devil, don't think that we're all spineless. We won't yield no matter what. Once the Heavenly Emperor descends, all of you will die." "Heavenly Emperor? Yi Chen? Ha ha, as long as that piece of trash dares to appear before me, I'll tear him into pieces." Crimson Devil glared at the Patriarch of Netherworld fiercely. Subsequently, the power of the Crimson Devil erupted and charged toward the Patriarch. Chapter 2164. Is that so? Just as Crimson Devil Luo was about to destroy Yi Chen, a rumbling sound came from the sky. It was like thunder and lightning. Crimson Devil Luo looked at the sky and saw thunder exploding in the sky. A majestic figure descended with thunder and supreme majesty. "Lord Crimson Devil Luo, that's Yi Chen." "Yi Chen, ha ha, you dare to appear?" Crimson Devil Luo looked at Yi Chen. This person was the one who killed Qi Feng, so he was the Red Demon Tribe's greatest enemy. If this person did not die, the Red Demon Tribe's humiliation would never be washed away. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Under the divine thunder, Yi Chen looked at Crimson Devil coldly. "You're the one who led these trash to invade the Netherworld Battle Palace? Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, I'll tear you into pieces today to avenge Qi Feng." "Qi Feng? Looks like you're also a member of the Red Demon Tribe. Cut the crap. Die." Crimson Devil Sky rose again. Instantly, endless red demonic energy swept through the world. Its power was unparalleled and intimidated everyone present. The red demons below retreated, including the Battle Palace combatants who had surrendered to Crimson Devil Luo. "Lord Crimson Devil is invincible. Lord Crimson Devil is eternal." The Battle Palace combatants below cheered for Crimson Devil. They had just surrendered to the Red Demon Tribe and could only rely on this to win the Red Demon Tribe's trust. They did not want to become cannon fodder. As for the Red Demon Tribe warriors, they smirked when they saw how hard these fellows were working. At this moment, Crimson Devil Sky descended upon the world again. Its supreme demonic might shook the world, causing the dark stars to emit demonic light, strengthening the might of Crimson Devil Sky. In Crimson Devil Sky was extremely confident that no matter who his opponent was, he would die here. Feeling the powerful suppression of Crimson Devil Sky, Yi Chen smirked. Now that he had obtained 5 spiritual accumulations, his cultivation base had increased 5-fold. Dealing with such a domain was as easy as flipping his hand. With a cold cry, Yi Chen unleashed the 5 astral accumulations. Instantly, his power increased 5-fold. His foundation, which was already unfathomable, was now 5 times stronger. It was as if a demon had descended into the world, a demon had manifested. His powerful might instantly tore the crimson demon sky apart. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The power of divine lightning surged. Cracks appeared above the scarlet devil sky. This type of scene left Chi Mo Luo in shock and bewilderment. Impossible! You are just a puny loose immortal. How could you possibly break through my scarlet demon sky? Such a puny heaven dares to act so arrogantly in front of me? I'm not someone you can look up to right now. Boasting? Damn it. Yi Chen's words were too arrogant and he did not take Chi Morua seriously at all. How could Chi Morua tolerate this? He instantly gave the order to kill. Chi Morua waved his sharp claws and shouted towards the front, "Kill them all! Kill everyone in the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion!" Yes, the experts of the Red Demon clan below all bared their fangs. This was something they had endured for a long time, and they could finally release their ferocious nature. They wanted to completely devour the person in front of them, not leaving a single bone behind. Dong, dong, dong. Countless red demon warriors attacked one after another. Their bodies were covered in a layer of demonic energy that the scarlet devil sky had given them. This demonic energy forcefully increased their strength by more than 10 times. Their killing intent burned wildly, and their eyes were filled with bloodlust. They were not calm at all. Kill them! When the Patriarch of Hell saw this, he also revealed a frenzied expression. He commanded the people of the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion to fly and fight the enemy. Yi Wushuang's eyes were cold as he flew up. His entire body released the might of a heavenly emperor. He turned into a sword and charged into the crowd. Chi chi chi. Sword chi exploded in all directions, flying through the 9 provinces to behead the enemy. Countless heads spun in the sky. Yi Wushuang's sword had instantly killed tens of thousands of people. Good, good, good. The Patriarch of Hell said good 3 times. Yi Wushuang's sword could be said to have activated the battle intent of the people of the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion. Everyone's battle intent was completely aroused. The demon martial world's army was not invincible. They were also cultivators, and they were not stronger than the people of the Battle Mansion. Under Yi Wushuang's stimulation, the people of the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion followed the Patriarch and activated the Yellow Springs formation. With the Patriarch as the core, countless powerhouses released their power, activating the heaven and earth power hidden in the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion's ley line. Instantly, the Yellow Springs formation was activated, and countless red demon warriors rushed into the formation. Rumble! When the formation was activated, endless Yellow Springs chi swept over, enveloping these red demon warriors. Their speed rapidly decreased, even with the support of the Crimson Devil Heaven. This was caused by the heaven and earth power in the Yellow Springs Battle Mansion's ley line. This kind of heaven and earth power was activated by the formation and strengthened 100 times. It broke through the Crimson Devil Heaven's limit, causing countless red demons to fall into danger. Now's the time. Kill. The Yellow Springs formation weakened the enemy and strengthened themselves. With a wave of the Patriarch of Hell's hand, everyone attacked one after another. They disregarded their lives to protect the Battle Mansion's reputation. Above the 9 heavens, Yi Chen faced the Crimson Devil alone. Yi Chen, do you think you can stop my red demon army with such a small trick? Unfortunately, you can't do it. In the battle below, although many of you red demons admitted defeat, you didn't gain much of an advantage, did you? Humph, I'll kill you first, then destroy the entire Battle Mansion. In the end, all the spiritual convergence will be absorbed by me. What a joke! Yi Chen shouted and released the spiritual convergence to support his own sword energy. He charged straight at Qi Maluo. Qi Maluo was shocked when he felt the support of the spiritual convergence. He shouted, "You really absorbed the spiritual convergence. No wonder you could shatter my crimson devil heaven. But it's useless. You've underestimated my crimson devil heaven." Qi Maluo closed his eyes slightly and struck his chest. This action made Yi Chen feel puzzled. However, as he spat out a mouthful of blood and rushed into the crimson devil heaven, Yi Chen understood. This person wanted to use his blood as a sacrifice to increase the crimson devil heaven's power. So what? Yi Chen had absorbed the 5 spiritual convergence. Now, he wanted to verify the progress of his cultivation base. He did not care if Qi Maluo unleashed his full potential. Only then would he have an opponent to test himself against. Qi Maluo, do your best to improve yourself. I want to see you at your strongest. Yi Chen, you'll regret being so arrogant. No matter what you think, you'll witness waves of blood-colored terror in the crimson devil heaven. Alright. Yi Chen stretched out his arms and made a welcoming gesture. Qi Maluo's eyes widened in anger. His strongest form was ignored by the other party. In this situation, he would take revenge no matter what. Blood-colored terror, red demon supreme. Qi Maluo absorbed the power of the crimson devil heaven and activated his maximum potential. An incomparably huge red demon giant slowly rose from behind him. Chapter 2165. The red demon giant's body constantly emitted demonic energy that permeated the surrounding space. The demonic energy caused the space to change drastically. Even the ley lines were infected by the demonic energy. The infection was extremely fast, like a virus. In such a dangerous situation, Yi Chen could not let the demonic energy infect the Patriarch and the others. Heavenly Emperor's Order, Earth Sword Reverse Slash. Within Yi Chen's 8 extraordinary meridians, the 5 spiritual accumulations were activated at the same time, instantly triggering the Heavenly Emperor's might. The ancient god power after the spiritual accumulations were 10 times stronger than before. This was already unimaginable. The ancient god's sword gleam shot into the sky like a dragon emerging from the sea or a rock spreading its wings. Such power had never been seen before. Slash. The ancient celestial sword ray charged into the earth vein and reversed the flow of the earth vein chi in an instant. Countless earth chi in the netherworld battlehouse was detonated by Yi Chen's ancient celestial power. The power of heaven and earth was so powerful that its explosive power was beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! Countless ley lines exploded like countless volcanoes erupting at the same time, instantly rushing in all directions. The endless demonic energy was burned, evaporated, and dissipated by the ley lines' chi. In the circle of these ley lines, the ancient god's sword gleam was the sharpest. Under the protection of the ley lines, it shot into the sky and slashed at the red demon. Zeng! A sharp light slashed across the sky. The red demon giant's chest was slashed by the sword gleam and a bloody wound bloomed. Qi Maluo, don't even think about being violent in this emperor's territory. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, you can't really think that you can hurt my heaven and earth manifestation, right? Yi Chen looked up at the red demon giant summoned by Qi Maluo again. The bloody wound on its chest began to heal rapidly. Various kinds of demonic energy surged and then healed as if it had not been injured at all. Such a powerful recovery ability shocked everyone. It can't be. The Heavenly Emperor's sword could almost kill a peak true immortal. How could it not even scratch its skin? Why didn't such a powerful sword have any effect? The scene in front of them was too shocking. The experts of the Netherworld Battle Mansion were all horrified. The red demon giant in front of them was like an inviolable King Kong. No one could hurt him. Wouldn't that mean that they could only watch him slaughter the living? With the great increase in mental pressure, coupled with the influence of the scattered demonic chi, Many experts revealed extremely unstable expressions. There were even some experts who were intimidated by the red demon giant, unable to move. Such a situation was completely within Chi Skura's expectations. As long as Yi Chen was subdued, the rest would be a disorderly mob. No one would be able to stop the Red Devils from invading the Spirit Demon Valley and obtaining the spiritual accumulation. Yi Chen, surrender now. Seeing that you're an overlord, as long as you submit to Hong Mo, I might let bygones be bygones and let you be a slave leader. How about that? Chi Maluo's face was filled with a mocking smile. He wanted to say that on purpose. No matter what choice Yi Chen made, he only had one choice: kill without mercy. Only by killing Yi Chen and destroying the entire Netherworld battle mansion, Chi Feng's revenge and the Red Devil clan's dignity could be reclaimed. This was just a game before the end of his game. Yi Chen was like his prey. Playing with prey was a wild beast's habit. As for the Red Devil clan, in the demon martial world, they were the demons with the strongest bestial nature. As the vanguard, they were absolutely murderous and evil. You can't imagine what you'll see if you anger me. Faced with Chi Maluo's provocation, Yi Chen did not lose his rationality. His eyes emitted an extremely cold light, like an ice halberd growing out of an icy hell. He stabbed directly at Chi Maluo. That kind of aura and murderous intent that chilled one's soul could completely break through a peak true immortal's psyche defense. Even Chi Maluo, a super-powerful mystic immortal, felt a trace of discomfort from such a shocking and powerful aura. He looked at Yi Chen coldly. At this moment, his view of Yi Chen had changed. Although he still saw Yi Chen as his prey, he had to treat Yi Chen seriously this time. They were both prey, but there were different levels. Yi Chen was clearly the most powerful existence among his prey. Just his aura alone surpassed the other prey. With this kind of psyche defense, even if Yi Chen was a mystic immortal, he would not be qualified. Moreover, Yi Chen was just an itinerant immortal, a genuine itinerant immortal. Don't try to fool me, Yi Chen. This kind of trick is useless in front of me. You're already panicking. Do you want to use this kind of icy aura to boost your confidence, Chi Maluo? You're trying to goad me into action. Unfortunately, I'm not Chi Feng. I don't know this. Yi Chen, I've been entangled with you for too long. I've lost my patience. I'll let you see the true Scarlet Terror. Chi Maluo's eyes widened in anger, and he activated his glaring Vajra form. Scarlet Terror, kill! After issuing the Scarlet Kill order, the red demon giant waved his sharp claws and a huge blood-colored blade appeared in his hand. This blade was the demonic weapon that the red demon giant had refined from the corpses and blood of countless people he had killed. Swoosh! As he waved the blood-colored blade, the life aura in the surrounding space completely disappeared. This was the true opening to hell. The invisible aura of death spread across the entire battlefield. Yi Chen's brows furrowed and his heart turned cold. He had already realized that such a weapon could destroy a cultivator's body and soul. Even he could feel some pressure, let alone the powerhouses behind the patriarch. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. As the blood-colored aura swept across the entire realm, the eyes of those who were tainted by the aura bulged out and were covered in blood. Their essence, energy, and spirit were destroyed by the blood-colored aura. They were like little ghosts wandering in hell who had lost their souls and could only become lonely ghosts. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, go to hell with your trash. Chi Maluo chanted a secret incantation. Mima, Mima, Mima. Countless secret incantations turned into smoke-like things that floated in the sky. Following that, the red demon giant's body was like a magnet, absorbing these secret incantations and attaching them to his skin. Instantly, the red demon giant's body seemed to have been reborn, and his strength increased to an indescribable level. Roar! He roared at the sky. Following that, the red demon giant opened his huge mouth and spewed red demon breath forward. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Boundless demonic energy carried the power of the secret incantation. It was like a world-destroying flood, completely destroying the land before him. No! Countless powerhouses were crushed into pieces and turned into a pool of blood in this despairing flood of demonic energy. Ha ha ha! Chi Maluo laughed loudly. In this terrifying laughter, who knew how many powerhouses of the Netherworld Battle Mansion died in this blood-colored breath? The entire sky turned red. This was the true blood-colored terror. D*eminent. Seeing the powerhouses of the Netherworld Battle Mansion fall one after another, these were all warriors who refused to submit to the Red Demon's tyranny. Yi Chen was furious to the extreme. Chapter 2166. Two-star Ancient God, Primordial Metal Man. Rumble. Yi Chen released the two-star Ancient God power in his body, merged it with the darkness pool, and released the Primordial Metal Man. Its massive body was not inferior to the Red Demon Giant at all. Its entire body was black and gold like a mirror, and its special armor flickered with starlight. Zap zap zap. The moment the Primordial Metal Man appeared, it triggered the 36 heavenly stars to descend rapidly. Tens of thousands of starlight and heavenly energy followed. Subsequently, the 36 heavenly energy inscriptions automatically formed on the Primordial Metal Man's body. It was the 36 heavenly energy formation. The formation was like a meridian, triggering the ancient god power in the Primordial Metal Man's body to fly rapidly. Its entire body's strength shook Mount Tai and shattered Mount Hua. Kill! Yi Chen ordered. The Primordial Metal Man charged forward and fought the Red Demon Giant head-on. What? Seeing that the pressure could completely resist the Red Demon Giant, Chi Moro was dumbfounded. He did not expect Yi Chen to have such a powerful heaven and earth manifestation. In this case, his plan to destroy the world with the Red Demon had lost its meaning. Only by defeating the Primordial Metal Man before him could he proceed with his plan. You want to fight my Red Demon Giant with such a golden man? Yi Chen, you're too naive. Naturally, he could not lose in terms of momentum. Chi Moro was still domineering. However, Yi Chen did not respond at all because all of this was unnecessary. The outcome of the battle was the truth. Roar. The Primordial Metal Man released its primordial power. Its arms shook the ground, and waves of black and gold glass extended toward the Red Demon Giant like a rapidly flowing river. What is this? Chi Moro was shocked. He sensed that the black and gold glass energy was extremely special. It extended on the ground as if it could merge with the earth. In other words, these energy bodies could merge with anything. Chi Moro could not think of a way to deal with such a strange energy body. In the blink of an eye, the black and gold glass extended below the Red Demon Giant's feet. Following that, the black and gold glass expanded rapidly like a constantly growing life form. Soon, it wrapped around the Red Demon Giant's feet. Don't even think about it. Seeing that the black and gold glass wanted to seal the Red Demon Giant's legs, Chi Moro released his demonic energy and turned into countless blood bugs that rushed down from the Red Demon Giant. Devour my bugs! Following the Crimson Skura's call, countless blood bugs crawled onto the black gold glaze and started to devour it crazily like hungry ghosts from hell. Yi Chen only smirked as the crimson worms devoured him. Your tricks are all useless. Yi Chen, very soon your black gold glazed glass will be completely disintegrated by my crimson bug. Haha, your doomsday is here. Die. Really? The corners of Yi Chen's lips curled up slightly. Following that, his eyes glowed with a dark light and the shadow of the origin of darkness rose behind him. Secret order of the god of the underworld, darkness descends. However, with a loud bang, the secret order was sent out along with Yi Chen's voice. The dark matter responded one after another. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Following which, many spiderweb-like cracks appeared on the red shells of the bloodworms. Boom, boom, boom. With a loud explosion, countless blood bugs exploded and black blood flowed out. The most terrifying thing was that the black blood gathered and formed a black and gold glass shape again. This astonishing phenomenon shocked even the Crimson Devil Luo. How could he have imagined that his crimson bug would be completely subdued by Yi Chen's black gold glazed glass? Go! The majestic power of the origin of darkness behind him continuously poured into the ley line and moved toward the red demon giant. It turned into a flood of dark liquid and wrapped around the red demon giant's legs. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Soon, the dark matter wrapped around the red demon giant's legs. No matter how big the red demon giant was, it could not resist the endless growth of the dark matter. Roar! The red demon giant continuously roared, wanting to break free from the entanglement of the dark matter, but it was useless. Once one was entangled by the dark matter, they would sink endlessly. No one could escape from it, not even the red demon giant. Secret Order of the Underworld God, Abyss Erosion. After controlling the red demon giant, Yi Chen issued the Underworld God's order again. Instantly, countless origin of darkness turned into countless sharp teeth that tore at the red demon giant and devoured its Pandora demon energy. Sensing that the red demon giant's energy was rapidly decreasing, the Crimson Devil Luo was burning with anxiety. This was because the energy was connected to his body through the heaven and earth manifestation. Once it was absorbed by Yi Chen, it was equivalent to his body's energy being consumed at the same time. He could not accept such a loss. Kill! The Crimson Devil personally attacked. The two pitchforks in his hands were high-level demonic weapons. Bring it on! After absorbing the Pandora demon energy, Yi Chen opened the Demon Martial Realm's Advanced Demon Eye through the Ancient God space and instantly saw Crimson Devil Luo's attack pattern. Ninth Heaven U steps. Activating his movement technique, Yi Chen stepped on the Big Dipper and moved like the wind. Every time he jumped, he accurately dodged the Crimson Devil Luo's attack. Such exquisite steps shocked the Crimson Devil Luo, and he was amazed. This person is so powerful. He has the Underworld God's power and the support of primordial divine power, as expected of the person who killed Qi Fang. At this moment, the Crimson Devil Luo did not dare to say that he could kill Yi Chen. He even felt that his strength was constantly decreasing while Yi Chen's strength was constantly increasing. This was very strange. When he reacted, it was because the other party had used the Red Demon Giant's Pandora demon energy and opened the Advanced Demon Eye, so he had completely grasped his attack pattern. Impossible! How many elemental powers can this brat control? The Crimson Devil roared at the sky. The cultivation method of the person before him had already surpassed the scope of his understanding. Would his body not enter a state of self-contradiction because of so many elemental powers? The Demon Martial Realm is a higher realm. It's impossible for you to control the Demon Martial Realm's power. Ha! The puny Demon Martial Realm dares to call itself a higher realm before me? Even if it's really a higher realm, trash like you is just a pawn. Do you really think you have any status in the Demon Martial Realm? I won't have the slightest bit of pride in killing a nobody like you. You. The Crimson Devil Luo could not retaliate against Yi Chen. This scene put the million-strong demon army on the demonic warship into an awkward situation. Crimson Devil Luo's defeat represented their defeat. Crimson Tiger, Crimson Leopard, kill him! Ha! Hearing Crimson Devil Luo's order, Crimson Tiger and Crimson Leopard hesitated. After all, even a super-powerful mystic immortal like the Crimson Devil Luo was not Yi Chen's match. What were they? You don't dare to attack? The Crimson Devil Luo was even more furious. Did he not have any dignity at all? Even his subordinates had to disobey his orders? Chapter 2167. Seeing that his generals were afraid of battle under Yi Chen's might, Qi Moruo felt that he had completely lost his dignity. Crimson Demon Blood Curse. With a furious roar, Chi Maluo did not hesitate to use the Red Demon Tribe's blood curse power and began to control Scarlet Tiger and Scarlet Leopard's bodies. This way, their bodies were under Chi Maluo's control, and they began to attack Yi Chen in a frenzy. Ha! Do you think such actions will work? Yi Chen smirked slightly when faced with the method of control. The Heavenly Emperor's sword and the immortal slaying flying dagger flew out at the same time. True Spirit 9 Transformations, Spirit Control Art. Yi Chen integrated the spirit manipulation technique, and the combination became a divine ability. The Heavenly Emperor's sword and the immortal slaying flying dagger instantly transformed into a swordsman and a saber user. They went up against the Scarlet Tiger and the Scarlet Leopard. Seeing such an exquisite divine ability, Chi Maluo revealed a look of astonishment. The opponent before him, no matter if it was talent or martial knowledge, was far above him. If such a scourge were to be left alive, it would be the greatest threat to the demon martial world, and he had to be eliminated. Kill! Once the order was given, the Scarlet Tiger and Scarlet Leopard flew toward Yi Chen regardless of whether they lived or died. Yi Tiandi, be careful! The old ancestor shouted. Ha! I've seen too many of such scenes. I knew it. Ah! Seeing Yi Chen facing two mystic immortals with ease, the patriarch was amazed. At the same time, it was within his expectations. After spending so much time with Yi Chen, he was very familiar with Yi Chen's talent and potential. So. The Scarlet Tiger and the Scarlet Leopard unleashed the power of their beast forms. Their speed was extremely fast, and they pounced over from two different directions. However, the swordsman and the swordsman had been waiting for a long time in both directions. Leave me with your life. The saber and sword duo coldly locked their gazes on the opponent before them, unleashing their full might. Saber gleams and sword auras surged out like tidal waves. In the blink of an eye, the space in front of them was plunged into a rapid fluctuation of energy. Although Scarlet Tiger and Scarlet Leopard's figures were fast, they were unable to force their way through such a powerful saber light and sword aura. They could only engage in a great battle with the saber and swordsman. Meanwhile, outside the battlefield, Yi Chen and Chi Maluo looked at each other coldly. Yi Chen, you'll only lose against the demon martial world's army. Hand over control of the soul-nurturing valley. This is your only chance. The spirit-accumulating valley is the territory of the Netherworld Battle Mansion. If the demon martial realm wants to invade, they'll have to ask my sword and saber first. Yi Chen responded coldly in the face of Chi Maluo's threat. A figure like this was not enough to catch Yi Chen's attention. Chi Maluo, scram back to the demon martial world. Let someone stronger come. This emperor might be a little interested. You! Chi Maluo was enraged. He released his blood-colored demonic energy and instantly triggered the Scarlet Tiger and Scarlet Leopard's dual-killing intent. He disregarded the limits of his body and could only kill the enemy in front of him. Roar! The Scarlet Tiger and the Scarlet Leopard released the maximum potential in their bodies at the same time, raising their foundations to the pinnacle realm and charging straight for the immortal slaying flying knife and the celestial Dharch sword. Although the two divine weapons were indestructible, their spirituality was not high enough for Yi Chen to use them as he pleased. Encountering two powerful beast-shaped mystic immortals, he gradually began to struggle. Master, these two bastards are very troublesome. Immortal slaying flying saber shouted. Don't panic. Hold your ground. Yes. Hearing Yi Chen's words, Immortal slaying flying saber and Heavenly Emperor sword stabilized their will at the same time. They held their ground and stopped attacking. In this way, although Scarlet Tiger and Scarlet Leopard had the advantage, it would not be that easy to take down Immortal slaying flying saber and Heavenly Emperor sword. D***eminent. Filled with rage, the red demon waved its giant palm and the red demon giant reappeared. Ha! Don't even think about it. At this moment, Yi Chen activated the super powerful power of the darkness pool. Black gold glaze quickly enveloped the entire red demon giant. It was impossible for him to attack. Shatter. The demon eye between Yi Chen's brows released a dark light and activated the black gold glaze's super powerful self-destruction function. The entire red demon giant exploded in the air. Chimorua was truly shocked this time. Yi Chen was like an unfathomable existence. No matter how one imagined his power, he would give one a new kind of surprise. How could one win against such an opponent? Chimorua, you're finished. Yi Chen locked his cold eyes on Chimorua. Only by killing this person would the entire demon martial world army truly collapse. Chimorua gritted his teeth and flew toward the demonic warship behind him. Naturally, Yi Chen would not let him go. He flew up and followed closely behind. The two arrived on the demonic warship in an instant and their eyes met. Ha ha, you dare to follow me? What an idiot. Chimorua, no matter what tricks you have, use them all. I'll let you know when you die. Boast. Chimorua roared angrily and the surrounding space rapidly changed. Naturally, there was a super powerful magic array on the demonic warship that trapped Yi Chen. However, all of this was within Yi Chen's expectations. Since he dared to board the ship alone, he had absolute confidence. 8 Gates Divine Disc. With a toss of his hand, the divine disc soared into the sky. It floated above his head and spun continuously. Following that, various rays of light shot toward the ground of the demonic warship below. These rays of light were extremely penetrative and directly penetrated the interior of the demonic warship. The entire array had already fallen into the divine disc. What is this? Chimorua asked excitedly. Ha, it's the divine artifact that broke your array. Yi Chen replied with a cold laugh, confident that he was invincible. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The 8 Gates divine disc instantly locked onto the array within the demonic warship below. The disc was connected to Yi Chen's ancient god space. In the space, the disc activated its own analysis program. The gate of opening, gate of view, and gate of restriction opened one after another. Under the illumination of 3 rays of light, the demonic warship's array had been successfully analyzed. Chimorua, I've already broken your array. Why aren't you kneeling and surrendering? Nonsense, this array was built by a demon venerable rank combatant. How can you break it? What a joke. Ignorant trash, lowly dog, how can you predict the will of heaven? Yi Chen did not explain anymore. The demon eye continuously released dark energy rays that swept through the entire array. Soon, the various core nodes of the array were disintegrated by Yi Chen's demon rays, and the array naturally shattered. Seeing this scene, Chimorua had to believe it even if he did not want to. He was no match for Yi Chen at all. The human heavenly emperor did not fear the demon martial world's mystic immortal combatants at all. This is bad. Chimorua finally understood that it was very likely that he would die in Yi Chen's hands. This time, not only did he not enter the Spirit Nurture Valley, he might not even see the shadow of the Spirit Nurture and die. How could he accept such an outcome? Crimson Tiger, Crimson Leopard. He released the power of the blood curse again. Crimson Tiger and Crimson Leopard were no longer entangled with the immortal-slaying flying dagger and the heavenly emperor sword. Instead, they flew back and activated the super-powerful blood explosion force in their bodies. Disregarding their own lives, they charged toward Yi Chen. Naturally, Yi Chen sensed it. This was Chimorua's final use of these two people. Chapter 2168. Roar! Crimson Tiger and Crimson Leopard completely activated their foundation, wanting to die with Yi Chen. This was naturally Chimorua's ultimate plan, but how could Yi Chen let him do as he wished? 8 heavenly dragons music, kill. 8 dragon energy appeared around Yi Chen again. Combined with the strongest darkness energy, he instantly locked onto Crimson Tiger and Crimson Leopard. Boom, boom, boom. Just as the two were about to pounce, 8 heavenly dragons' music and 8 dragon energy wrapped around them. The dragons spewed out corrosive darkness energy that covered their bodies in the blink of an eye. Subsequently, their bodies stiffened, unable to move. Their blood coagulated, unable to trigger blood explosion. They exploded. Kacha, kacha, kacha. Their bodies turned into various pieces that fell from the sky. The demon army was incomparably intimidated. This is a human demon. He's simply a demon, too terrifying. We can't defeat him. The army's morale was shaken. It was impossible for them to succeed. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, Chi Maluo flew toward the cockpit of the demonic ship, hoping to leave with the ship. Isn't it too late to run now? The cold voice chased after him. Chi Maluo was like a fox that was locked on by a hunter, unable to escape. No, no. Chi Skura wanted to leave, but he realized that the space around him had been locked. His movements became incomparably slow, while Yi Chen walked freely in this barrier. He watched as Yi Chen walked over with the slowest steps, as if he was using a rapid movement technique. Chi Skura, on the other hand, could only move like an ant when he used his movement technique. He had already fallen into the Spacetime Fury's spacetime barrier. What's going on? Chi Maluo could not understand the scene before him at all. The fear in his heart intensified. Chi Maluo die. At this moment, Yi Chen activated the judgment power. It turned into a sword and slashed toward Chi Maluo's head. Chi Mora watched as the blade descended towards his head. However, within this barrier, he was unable to resist the power of spacetime at all. There was no possibility of dodging. He could only watch as his doomsday arrived. This kind of despair was incomprehensible to ordinary people. No. In the most hopeless gaze, the sword descended. Just as he was about to die, a dark vortex suddenly appeared in front of him. A demonic claw reached out from within and instantly grabbed Chi Maluo. Then, Chi Maluo's body was brought into the alternate space. Yi Chen looked into the sky and saw a man standing there. This man was tall and sturdy and wore a tall hat. His hands were behind his back as he looked at Yi Chen. Demon Sovereign Qingyu. Looking at the person before him, Chi Maluo was like a frightened child, hurriedly bowing, not daring to raise his head. A puny little human loose immortal was actually able to cause your million-strong army to suffer a crushing defeat. Chiemo Luo, you're really something. Lord Demon Lord, this man is extremely abnormal. Although he is a rogue immortal, his strength is far above that of a genuine immortal, even comparable to a Xian immortal. We were plotted against by him, that's why we ended up like this. Sneak attack? Ha, you actually want to hide the truth in front of this sovereign. Chiemo Luo, are you tired of living? I don't dare. Chiemo Luo immediately knelt on the ground, not daring to move in the slightest. At this moment, the demon Venerable Qingyu looked at Yi Chen and said, "You're the human Yi Chen?" "That's me. Who are you to dare touch my prey?" "Humph. A mere loose immortal dares to ask for this exalt's name? Before you die, there's no harm in telling you this. I am the Devil Martial World's Red Devil Clan, Devil Lord Qingyu, and also the person who will kill you." "Really?" Yi Chen's cold eyes locked onto the person before him. He saw the vast dark vortex behind this person open up and countless demonic tribe elites rushed in and stood behind this person. The strength of these demonic tribe elite warriors was far above the Crimson Skura's million-strong army. Waves of pressure shook the entire Netherworld battlehouse. Boom! At this moment, the demon Venerable Qingyu also unleashed his aura. In an instant, Yi Chen felt his body begin to tremble. The demon Venerable Qingyu's demonic energy seemed to be able to shake the entire earth. When Yi Chen turned around, he realized that the Patriarch of Hell and the rest were already under the control of the pressure. Their bodies were trembling, and they were almost paralyzed. Yi Chen understood that this person's strength was extraordinary if a mere wave of pressure could cause such destruction. Retreat. Yi Chen's order was very decisive. He did not want the people of the Netherworld Battle Mansion to die here. Do you think you can leave? The demon Venerable Qingyu revealed the coldest smile. This was the crocodile's tears before a massacre. It was despairing. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Waves of demonic energy lightning descended from the sky. Everyone was trapped within, unable to escape. Oh no! Yi Chen's brows tightened. He was furious. If this went on, they would all die here. He had to let them leave first. 8 Gates Divine Disc. Yi Chen activated the 8 Gates Divine Disc again. He used the disc to forcefully devour the demonic energy lightning before him, breaking the barrier before him and opening up a new space. Space-time Fury! Roar! Under the operation of Space-time Fury, a vast space-time tunnel appeared. Yi Chen shouted, "Everyone enter it!" Yes, everyone could only believe in Yi Chen now. Otherwise they would die a terrible death. Countless combatants stepped into the space-time tunnel that Yi Chen opened and disappeared without a trace. Where do you think you're going? The demon Venerable Qingyu extended his demonic claw again, passing through space and appearing before Yi Chen. Ha, who can stop me if I want to leave? Demon Venerable Qingyu, we'll meet again. Yi Chen sneered and unleashed a thunderous palm strike. Subsequently, he jumped into the space-time vortex and disappeared without a trace. Looking at the empty scene before him, the demon Venerable Qingyu was enraged. Ah! He roared at the sky and then saw dozens of Netherworld Battle Mansion combatants. They were still in front of him. Who are you? We're combatants under Lord Crimson Devil Luo's command. Those combatants bowed and said in a trembling voice. D***eminent. The demon Venerable Qingyu was furious. He wanted to kill them all in one fell swoop, but he did not expect them to leave so easily. What kind of person was he? This was humiliating. As soon as the sharp claw appeared, a demonic claw appeared out of thin air and grabbed the Netherworld Battle Mansion traitors. Crack! With a crushing sound, all the Netherworld Battle Mansion cultivators who surrendered were turned into ashes. The demon Venerable Qingyu stood on the demonic warship. With a glance, he could see through the Netherworld Battle Mansion and instantly locked onto the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. Lord Demon Venerable, what do we do now? Crimson Devil Luo asked. The Spirit-Nurturing Valley. Yes. Crimson Devil Luo personally drove the demonic warship toward the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. At this moment, a dark door appeared in the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. The people of the Netherworld Battle Mansion revealed themselves. It turned out that Yi Chen's space-time door led to the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. Chapter 2169. Everyone entered the Spirit-Nurturing Valley through the space-time tunnel that Yi Chen had created. The first 5 layers of the Spirit-Nurturing Valley had been destroyed by Yi Chen and the energy within had been absorbed. It was a good place for everyone to rest. The demon martial world's demon Venerable Qingyu had arrived, but the underworld god had yet to show up to help him. This made Yi Chen very unhappy. This time, when he went to the underworld to seek help, the underworld god had personally descended. This was a huge advantage. However, after coming to the lower realm, the underworld god had disappeared without a trace. Yi Chen deduced that he must be busy with something. Patriarch, how's everyone doing? Yi Chen asked. Great Emperor Yi, everyone is fine. Those who are brave enough to fight have followed us. As for those who have defected to the enemy, let them fend for themselves. All right, I'll open up a new space here for the experts of the Netherworld Battle Mansion and the Netherworld to rest here temporarily. Ancestor, Wushuang, bring a group of elites and explore the spirit-accumulating valley with me. This is our only chance. Don't worry, Great Emperor, I will make arrangements. The Patriarch nodded lightly and proceeded with his arrangements. Meanwhile, Yi Chen recalled what happened to the demon Venerable Qingyu earlier. The demonic energy on Demon Sovereign Qingyu's body was very strange. It was different from Crimson Skura's. The laws hidden in this demonic energy were very high. He was definitely someone with high status and talent in the Red Demon race. Yi Chen sat in the air with his legs crossed. Various images of the demonic energy released by the demon Venerable Qingyu kept replaying in his head. With multiple powerful ocular techniques, Yi Chen could easily remember the details of his opponent's mystical abilities, secret techniques, or even ordinary Pandora demon ability attacks. He could analyze the information through the ancient god space. The Red Devil race's invasion is only the vanguard. The demon martial world's greed for the spirit-storing valley is the root cause. Yi Chen had already seen through the essence of this battle. It was not only because the demon martial world wanted to expand their territory, but their goal was very clear. It was the Ling Yun. Yi Chen could feel that his cultivation base had improved by more than 100 times after absorbing the 5 spiritual root. It wasn't exaggerated to say that his current foundation was entirely comparable to a mid-rank mysterious immortal. Boom! Suddenly, heaven and earth trembled as a powerful demonic energy descended upon the spirit-storing valley. Yi Chen opened his eyes abruptly. Spiritual light flashed in his eyes as he looked at the sky above the spirit demon valley. The formation he had set up had been broken. The demonic warship had arrived. On the demon ship, the strongest source of devil energy was Demon Sovereign Green Universe. Ha ha ha! The Honor Demon's maniacal laughter pierced through the restrictions of space and reached the people of the Battle Mansion. Yi Chen, you're not qualified to escape from my clutches. He shouted towards the valley below, but he didn't act rashly. The Spirit Accumulation Valley was a place of fortune, and if he didn't understand it well enough, the consequences would be unpredictable. Although Qingyu Demon Venerable was arrogant and cruel, he was not a fool. All of you, quickly hide inside the formation. I'm going to lure the demons away. Great Emperor, we swear to fight to the death. Although many of the independent cultivators in the Netherworld Battle Mansion did not have a high cultivation base, they had a strong will to fight and were very loyal to Yi Chen. Naturally, Yi Chen did not want them to stay and die. This is my order. Yes. In the end, Yi Chen brought a group of elites with him, while most of the remaining cultivators hid in the Spirit-Nurturing Valley's formation and disappeared. The formation was set up by Yi Chen with the power of spiritual accumulation and nature. No one could figure out the secret behind it. Qingyu Demon Venerable, enter the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. This isn't your demon tribe's territory. Before the fortune of heaven and earth, all of you will die without a burial. Facing the suppression of the demon tribe army, Yi Chen's voice was like thunder, blasting into the sky. Arrogant human brat, the spiritual accumulation belongs to me, the red demon, and so do your lives. Ha, then come and kill us. Yi Chen pointed his sword at the sky and immediately released a sword energy, exposing his position. He did not want Qingyu Demon Venerable to realize the existence of the space formation he had created, so he had to attract his attention as soon as possible. Yi Chen's action made the Demon Venerable think that it was an extreme provocation, so naturally, he would not let it go. Kill them all. The Demon Venerable gave the order and the Demon Tribe army moved out, rushing toward the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. Yi Chen led the Patriarch, Wu Shuang, and the other elites toward the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. This was a very risky move, but it was also the best method Yi Chen could think of. In the Spirit-Nurturing Valley, no one could completely control it. This was the best protection for Yi Chen and the others. Yi Chen, you can't escape. Together with the spiritual accumulation, you'll become the Red Demon Tribe's possessions. Ah! Behind them, millions of Demon Tribe army rushed into the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. The sound of marching troops rang through the sky, their momentum magnificent. They wanted to kill everything. Below, on the 6th floor of the Spirit-Nurturing Valley, Yi Chen and the others came to the periphery. There are too many enemies. Use the spatial energy I released and hide on the rock walls. I'll lure you into the trap. Yes. Everyone listened to Yi Chen's order and leaned against the rock walls. Roar. The sound of space and time shook the sky. The space distorted and hundreds of itinerant immortal powerhouses hid into the rock walls. Yi Chen floated alone in the void, facing the millions of demon tribe army. You're too slow. It's Yi Chen. Some powerhouses saw Yi Chen and bared their fangs. They had already accepted the demon venerable's order. The one who killed Yi Chen would be the red demon hero. Such glory was a great temptation to these vanguard warriors. They were born as red demon warriors, so they must fight for glory. Kill. In an instant, tens of thousands of warriors attacked Yi Chen. Yi Chen stood in the void with his hands behind his back. Sword energy filled the sky and shook the surroundings. Yi Chen's elegant figure was like a god descending from the heavens and a ghost god descending from the 9 zones. The heavenly emperor's sword appeared automatically. Sword rain, falling flowers. With a cry of surprise, a sword rain erupted and rushed toward the heavens. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Boom, boom, boom. Tens of thousands of red demon warriors exploded in the sky, blood staining the void red. Kill, kill, kill. However, the red demon's ferocity was far beyond ordinary people's imagination. No matter how much blood was dripping in front of them, only the sound of killing could be heard. They're crazy. Come on. Facing tens of thousands of crazed demon warriors, Yi Chen smirked and flew down. Behind him, hundreds of thousands of demon warriors followed and chased after him. The huge crowd followed Yi Chen and rushed to the 6th level of the spirit-nurturing valley. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Suddenly, waves of spirit-nurturing power exploded and the huge figure of the 6th spirit-nurturing valley appeared before everyone. Who dares to invade the spirit-nurturing valley? Many demon warriors didn't know what was going on in front of them. They rushed forward indiscriminately and many of them rushed directly towards the 6th spiritual pool. D***MNit. In its own territory, the 6th spirit-nurturing valley was like a ghost god, killing unparalleled. The spirit-nurturing power in the surrounding space turned into countless white lights and slaughtered wildly. Chapter 2170. High up in the sky, the demon Venerable Qingyu stood on the demonic warship and saw the battle below. The Qi Reserve. The demon Venerable Qingyu revealed a greedy expression when he sensed the Qi Reserve. Demon Venerable Qingyu, I heard that the Qi Reserve is the most precious treasure that can stimulate a cultivator's potential. Is that true? Beside him, a follower asked. That's right. This is one of the reasons why the Demon Lord sent me here. It's our greatest honor to obtain the Qi Reserve. We can even improve our strength in the Qi Reserve Valley. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen wants to lead me here. This is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The demon Venerable Qingyu and the other powerful fighters of the demon clan did not care at all when they saw tens of thousands of demon warriors dying at the hands of the 6th Qi Reserve. In the world of demon martial arts, there was already a production line for demon warriors. They were the weakest cultivators in the demon clan. They were born to fight and break through enemy lines. They had no other rights but to follow the orders of their commanders. To them, life and death did not matter. The only thing that mattered to them was the information about the glory of battle that was deeply engraved in their bones. The 6th spirit accumulation's wrath killing 1,000 miles, and countless demon warriors died in its hands. You human clan and devil clan will all die here. In its own territory, the 6th Qi Reserve was invincible. It could absorb the Qi Reserve's power even if it was demonic energy. Although each warrior did not have a lot of demonic energy, the 6th Qi Reserve's body was soon filled with the demon martial world's mutated demonic energy. Ha ha ha, this feels so good. After absorbing the vast demonic energy, the 6th Qi Reserve's strength increased greatly. It devoured the demon warriors in front of it. Although the demon warriors loved glory, Seeing their companions dying in front of them and being devoured by the 6th Qi reserve, they gradually lost their motivation and retreated. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. At this moment, a huge demonic warship appeared in front of everyone. It was the demon Venerable Qingyu. The 6th Qi reserve looked at the sky with a solemn expression. He could feel the powerful demonic energy from the demonic warship. This demonic energy contained a majestic aura. It was the noble existence of the Red Demon clan. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect Yi Chen to lead me to the 6th spiritual pool. Qingyu Demon Venerable revealed a cold smile. The 5 great spirit accumulations in front of him had already disappeared. The 6th spirit accumulation could help cultivators greatly. This was a great surprise for Qingyu Demon Venerable. 6th spiritual accumulation, surrender to me, and you will find your value. Ha, people of the demon martial world, I've been cultivating here for tens of thousands of years. Could it be that I wanted to serve under you? How laughable. Since you've come, then stay. Surprisingly, the 6th spirit kernel was not afraid of demon Venerable Qingyu. After absorbing the blood and demonic energy of hundreds of thousands of demon warriors, his confidence was greatly boosted. Demon Elder Qingyu naturally knew about this. However, he was also very confident in his own strength. No matter how much demonic energy the 6th spiritual accumulation absorbed, it wouldn't be a match for him. Kill. Facing the Green Universe Demon Lord, the 6th spiritual accumulation made the first move. It activated the demon energy in the surrounding space, and with the help of its own spiritual accumulation, it transformed into a majestic sword light and attacked the Green Universe Demon Lord. Boom! The majestic sword light was like a dragon in the sea, rushing towards the Green Universe Demon Lord. Many experts of the demon race were shocked when they felt the power of the sword light. Even Qi Maluo was shocked. However, Demon Venerable Qingyu smiled coldly, as if he didn't care at all. Ha ha, good timing. Demon Venerable Qingyu stretched out his hand. Instantly, the power of space vibrated again and a huge demonic claw appeared behind the 6th spiritual accumulation, wrapping around the spiritual accumulation. You want to fight me with such a divine sense? After absorbing the demonic energy of the demon martial world, the 6th spiritual accumulation naturally sensed the existence of the demonic claw behind it. However, compared to this divine sense, what it wanted was the power of space of Demon Venerable Qingyu. The 6th spiritual accumulation was enveloped by a flickering demonic energy. Then, with the help of the spiritual accumulation, the demonic energy's energy index rose rapidly and instantly increased by 60 times. Explode. With a command, the demonic energy increased by 60 times instantly exploded and the demonic claw released by the demon Venerable exploded. Boom, boom, boom. The energy waves continued to attack, causing the demon warriors in the surrounding space to explode and die one after another. They didn't even know how they died. Such a powerful increase in demonic energy made Demon Venerable Qingyu's eyes light up. He finally witnessed the power of the spiritual accumulation. The demonic energy itself didn't pose any threat, but with the help of the spiritual accumulation, it could explode with such shocking power. If he could obtain the power of the spiritual accumulation, he could even directly ascend to the true demon stage. This was too tempting. Ha ha, this is great, this is great. This time, I'll make you surrender completely. Demon Venerable Qingyu personally took action and went straight for the 6th spiritual accumulation. On the mountain wall there was a secret place. From the outside it looked like an ordinary rock, but Yi Chen was hiding in it. He was waiting. At this moment, the 6th spiritual accumulation against the demon Venerable Qingyu was the result he wanted to see. This was Yi Chen's plan. Ha, I'll let you continue fighting. I'll see how you're going to fight. Yi Chen's body was in a state of extreme speed. From the outside, even if Yi Chen revealed his true body, he would still be in a state of stillness. In reality, Yi Chen had placed his speed in a strange space. As time passed, this speed energy would only become stronger. Watching from the sidelines would only last for 1,000 years. Above the void, demon Venerable Qingyu sprouted 2 large wings behind his back. Like a rock in the 9 heavens, he rushed down and destroyed the entire space formation. The 6th spiritual accumulation no longer existed. So powerful! The 6th spiritual accumulation frowned. It knew that it could not defeat its opponent if it did not unleash its full strength. However, once it devoured this person, it would instantly become a super powerhouse. This was an opportunity that it had waited for tens of thousands of years. It could not miss it. Moreover, it had to be fast because the situation here would soon awaken other spiritual accumulations that were even more powerful. Once they were awakened, things would become difficult. You don't stand a chance with the 6th spiritual accumulation. Surrender is your only choice. Is that so? The 6th spiritual accumulation suddenly opened its eyes. Within its eyes, rays of white light flashed. Countless white spiderwebs appeared on the surrounding rock walls and shot toward the demon Venerable Qingyu. The demon Venerable Qingyu's eyes turned cold. He did not expect that there was such a trick hidden on the surrounding rock walls. However, as a super powerhouse of the demon martial world, his ability to adapt was naturally strong. Useless move. Demonic flames surrounded his body. The demon Venerable Qingyu did not hold back and directly released his territory. Qingyu Demonic Realm. Chapter 2172. The 6th Lingshan watched helplessly as it was engulfed by the devouring dome and slowly sank into it. Refining of the Dark Deity. After devouring the 6th Lingshan, Yi Chen activated the refining of the Dark Deity in the ancient god space. The magnificent heart of the Dark Deity transformed into a furnace. The 6th Lingshan still wanted to struggle, but Yi Chen was the absolute ruler in the ancient god space. No one could fight against him here. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The origin of darkness released countless dark substances to entangle the 6th Lingshan and threw it into the furnace. Refine. The heart of the Dark Deity released endless refining power. The Pandora demon energy that the 6th Lingshan had absorbed and his own Lingshan energy were all refined by the heart of the Dark Deity and became Yi Chen's power. Arg! Yi Chen roared. The Lingshan energy in his body surged and his meridians surged like dragons. He soared again. His powerful foundation had exceeded the limit of an itinerant immortal. The sky was filled with thunderclouds. It was the sign of the impending tribulation. Ha ha ha! The heavenly Thearcha's maniacal laughter shook the heavens. Yi Chen was fearless in the face of the thunderclouds. You bastard! How dare you absorb my 6th spiritual accumulation? Demon Venerable Qingyu became even more enraged. The treasure that he had racked his brains to obtain had been obtained by Yi Chen so easily. He could not accept this outcome. Qingyu Demonic Sword, Ultimate Destruction. He was so furious that he unleashed his ultimate power. He wanted to combine it with the power of the heavenly tribulation to completely destroy Yi Chen's golden body. Ha, idiot! The Lingshan energy in Yi Chen's body exploded again. The 6th Lingshan energy turned into 6 dragons and instantly locked on to the demon Venerable Qingyu. The surrounding Lingshan energy did not affect Yi Chen at all. Instead, it helped him because he had mastered the 6th Lingshan energy. Now that Yi Chen had integrated the 6th Lingshan energy, his strength had increased tenfold. Ha ha ha! Yi Chen laughed and the 8 heavenly dragons' music shook the entire space. Rumble! The surrounding space trembled rapidly. Rubble flew into the air and the heavens and earth collapsed. Countless demon warriors were directly shattered by the 8 heavenly dragons' music, turning into a rain of blood. Even the true immortal experts of the demon race trembled incessantly in the face of such a thunderous sound. Even their own shields were shattered. It's too terrifying. Is he still human? What's going on with this person? He's like a god. Although he was a powerhouse from the upper realm, he was still an ant under Yi Chen's feet. This was the difference in talent. Roar. The dragon roar continued to impact in all directions. Only a few of the Devil Realm's million-strong army were left. Meanwhile, the demon Venerable Qingyu was also shaken. The energy in his body was chaotic because he had been locked on by Yi Chen. Under the entanglement of the 6 spiritual cores, his demonic energy was constantly being absorbed by Yi Chen. Dragon Fist, Sky Splitting. The 8 dragon chi transformed into an ancient god fist light that flew towards demon sovereign Qingyu. The 8 dragons' fist light completely shattered the destructive sword, after which the fist light slammed into Qingyu demon sovereign. With a thunderous explosion, Qingyu demon sovereign's body exploded as devilish energy flooded the entire sky. Roar! The devouring dome reappeared, and all the mana was absorbed by the sky snake black tortoise. After absorbing the demon Venerable Qingyu's demonic energy, the foundation of Yi Chen's demonic energy had risen to another level. At this moment, tribulation clouds covered the sky, bombarding the spirit-nurturing valley. At this moment, the fortune of heaven and earth took effect again. The spirit-nurturing valley was actually resisting the might of the heavenly Tao. Very good. Yi Chen looked for the right time and released the power of the 6 astral pools. Together with the powerful fortune of the spirit-nurturing valley, he evolved into his strongest attack. 3 eyes in 1, God-killing light. Yi Chen activated the demon's eye, the ancient god's eye, and the mutated demon's eye, combining them to form the strongest death ray. It was aimed at the formation eye of the heavenly tribulation that had yet to finish forming. Rumble! The death ray pierced through the eye of the heavenly tribulation, and half of the tribulation clouds instantly dispersed. Ah! At this moment, Yi Chen opened the divine demon wings and soared into the sky. 6 astral pools, 100-fold dragon fist. An ancient god's shadow appeared behind Yi Chen. The 8 dragon chi and the 6 astral pools quickly evolved. The majestic energy wrapped around the ancient god's right arm and evolved into the shape of a huge dragon head. Kill! Yi Chen ordered, and the ancient god punched at the same time. Roar! The dragon head's fusion divine might exploded completely, and the punch hit the core of the heavenly tribulation. Rumble! The heavenly Tao door was swept by Yi Chen's majestic energy. It could not open and could only close. Celestial snake black tortoise. Just when the heavenly Tao door was about to close, Yi Chen reappeared in his celestial snake black tortoise form and swallowed the dome. No matter what was in front of him, even if it was the heavenly Tao, the dome enveloped the heavenly Tao door and forcibly absorbed the heavenly Tao energy. Endless divine lightning merged into Yi Chen's 9 thunder god. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle! The 9 thunder gods' dharma form burned fiercely and endless divine lightning struck everywhere. After absorbing the heavenly Tao energy, Yi Chen's 3 eyes opened at the same time. The 3 eyes floated behind Yi Chen and activated the power to destroy the world. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle! The 9 thunder god returned to Yi Chen's body. Yi Chen was reborn again. Ethereal, mysterious method, open the door to the immortal realm for me. The 3 eyes flashed at the same time and comprehended the heavenly Tao energy. It was true immortal law. Above the sky, between the 9 heavens, pure true immortal energy was infused into Yi Chen's body. The peak scattered immortal ascended again and became a true immortal. This kind of power was too shocking. In an instant it swept everywhere. Even the space-time formation that Yi Chen had released before was shattered. The old ancestor, Wu Shuang, and the other powerhouses admired Yi Chen's genius ascension together. After ascending to true immortal recently, Yi Tiandi's strength is completely different from before, the old ancestor said excitedly. As expected of Yi Tiandi, we admire him. Many scattered immortal powerhouses knelt on the ground and worshipped the heavenly emperor's power. At this moment, Yi Chun absorbed the true immortal law left in the heavenly Tao door and operated the ancient god, underworld god, and demon martial energy in his body. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The three eyes returned to Yi Chen's body and Yi Chun descended from the sky. Welcome, great emperor! Everyone welcomed Yi Chen's return. Everyone, you've worked hard. This time, I've ascended to true immortal stage and can finally comprehend the real immortal law. Follow me and I'll use the aftermath of the tribulation to baptize you. That's great. We can accept Yi Tiandi's baptism. This is a blessing that we've cultivated for 8 lifetimes. Everyone sat cross-legged in the void and waited for Yi Chen's blessing. Old ancestor Wu Shuang, everyone, pay attention. Yi Chen raised his right hand high and bent his fingers slightly. Suddenly, all the energy within the 9 heavens gathered in Yi Chen's hand and turned into balls of lightning energy. This energy was completely refined by Yi Chen's great furnace and turned into energy that everyone could accept. It turned into rain and sprinkled over the earth. Chapter 2173. As Yi Chen activated the spiritual pool, everyone felt as if their bodies had entered another world. The speed of spiritual energy here was completely different from the outside world. They could feel that their bodies were absorbing the energy. Hold your breath and focus. Activate your mental cultivation method. At that moment, Yi Chen was guiding everyone to absorb the remaining spiritual pool. Based on their talent, absorbing the remaining spiritual pool might result in someone undergoing the ascension tribulation. The only way to fight the demon martial world now was to elevate everyone's overall ability. Yes. Everyone obeyed Yi Chen's order and activated their mental cultivation method, relying on their innate talent to absorb the spiritual reserve. People with different innate talents would absorb different amounts of spiritual reserve, so their ascension speed would be different as well. It might even result in many people who did not have a strong foundation relying on their innate talent to absorb a large amount of spiritual reserve and transcend their limits to ascend. The huge team of powerhouses continued to absorb the remaining spiritual pool on the 6th level of the spiritual pool valley. The strength of their meridians increased, and their foundations soared. Rumble! Soon, powerful energy currents appeared around them. Those currents were formed by the energy released by the people due to the fluctuation of the spiritual pool. Yi Chen was overseeing the situation. He could guide them to absorb the spiritual pool, but how much they could absorb and how much they could comprehend depended on them. This state lasted for a total of 49 days. At dawn on the 50th day, powerful tribulation clouds appeared in the sky all of a sudden. The wind and clouds surged. Everyone was shocked. Who exactly could break through their limits in such a short time? On a floating mountain, a young man sat with his legs crossed, surrounded by sword chi. He looked like a fairy of the world, giving off a cold aura. It's Yi Wushuang. I didn't expect him to be so talented. No wonder he's the Emperor's sword spirit. He's amazing. As everyone exclaimed, the tribulation clouds in the sky began to gather toward Yi Wushuang. Whoosh! A sword gleam flashed as sword intent burst out of Yi Wushuang's body. He was fearless. Yi Chen nodded slightly when he saw that. Yi Wushuang and the Heavenly Emperor sword were connected. With the Heavenly Emperor sword by Yi Chen's side, it would continue to improve along with Yi Chen's cultivation base. That itself allowed Yi Wushuang's foundation to soar automatically. Therefore, he could absorb the spiritual accumulation power in such a short time and undergo a qualitative change. With the Heavenly Emperor sword's help, Yi Wushuang had reached peak itinerant immortal stage. If he ascended now, he would enter true immortal stage with Yi Chen. It would be a qualitative change for the Heavenly Emperor sword. Unparalleled sword, go! Yi Chen tossed the Heavenly Emperor sword and flew toward Yi Wushuang. Pool! With a furious roar, Yi Wushuang integrated the power of the Heavenly Emperor sword and flew up. Swish! Swish! Endless sword chi rushed towards the thunderclouds in the sky. Suddenly, the sword light shot through the 9 heavens. Thunder and thunder technique of all worlds. Yi Wuxuang stood on the heavenly emperor's sword. His sword fingers condensed energy as he waved them freely. The heavenly emperor's sword technique that was engraved in his bones was unleashed automatically. The sword technique was profound and the laws were pure. Immortal energy was infused into it, and it cleverly broke the thundercloud array in front of him. Kill! Yi Wuxuang's eyes were sharp and murderous. Yi Wuxuang displayed his extraordinary talent in swordsmanship. His foundation was not strong enough, but with the spiritual pool, his foundation was improved dozens of times. That was why he was so arrogant. Heavenly Emperor's Sword, Universal Slash. The classic move appeared again. Universal Slash, Universal Slash, World Slash. Rumble! The majestic Heavenly Emperor's sword pierced the clouds like a heavenly pillar, instantly breaking the 9 layers of lightning. The heavenly Tao's radiance appeared. The sun and moon essence was infused into the Heavenly Emperor's sword. Yi Wuxuang ascended successfully. That's great. We have another true immortal. It's a miracle for a sword spirit to become an immortal. Ha ha ha! Many powerhouses congratulated Yi Wuxuang for his success. It was a great boost to everyone's confidence. Subsequently, everyone went back to cultivating. Yi Chen continued to release the spiritual pool, squeezing everyone's talent to the limit. That was the only way to find more people who could ascend. After another 3 months, tribulation clouds appeared above the Patriarch of Hell's head. The Patriarch had successfully broken through to peak bodiless immortal. More powerhouses found hope and broke through to a higher cultivation base. At the same time, the destruction of demon Venerable Qingyu, Qi Maluo, and the rest shook the demon martial world. In the demon palace of the demon martial world. Damn it, how is this possible? Demon Venerable Qingyu is dead? In the palace, a demon venerable wearing a white-scaled battle robe with 2 horns on his head roared. This person was the demon Venerable Hai Lin. On the throne sat the leader of the demon martial world's Red Demon Clan, the true demon master, Qi Yen. Master Qi Yen, the lowly realm has damaged our military power so many times. We can't wait any longer. That's right, Master Qi Yen. The Red Demon Clan is the closest demon martial world force to the Netherworld. This is our best chance. As long as we get the power of the spirit-nurturing valley, Master Qi Yen might even break through 10,000 years of cultivation and reach the supreme heavenly demon stage. This is related to the future hope of the Red Demon Clan. We beg you to invade the Netherworld's spirit-nurturing valley. Many demon venerables knelt and requested to send troops. On the throne, Qi Yen opened his eyes slightly and stretched out his claws. Waves of demon energy appeared in his hands. Subsequently, the demon energy evolved and showed the state of demon Venerable Qingyu before he died. The person who killed demon Venerable Qingyu was the Heavenly Emperor Yi Chen. This person could kill demon Venerable Qingyu. Unbelievable! A mere human has so many elemental powers. How did he do it? The Red Demon army will invade and all lives will be lost. The Red Demon was savage and had a murderous nature. His roar shook the palace. Above the palace, killing intent filled the air. At this moment, the true demon Qi Yen slowly stood up. He looked at the crowd and said, "Seize the spirit-nurturing valley." These 5 simple words instantly aroused the strong killing intent of many demon venerables present. They roared. In the spirit-nurturing valley, half a year had passed. Many powerhouses had broken through. Yi Chen, Yi Wuxuang, the Patriarch of Hell, Old Man Yuming, and other powerhouses had broken through to the true immortal stage and became the main force. Yi Chen hovered in the air and looked around. He saw through everyone's current state at a glance. Their talents had been squeezed to the limit by Yi Chen. It was useless to force cultivation anymore. It was impossible to absorb more spirit-nurturing power, and it might even have the opposite effect. It was time to leave. Everyone, follow me to the 7th level of the spirit-nurturing valley. Yes. Everyone was in high spirits and full of confidence. Following Yi Chen was the path of cultivation. Under Yi Chen's lead, everyone flew toward the 7th level. At this moment, the entire spirit-nurturing valley had fallen into a deeper mystery. Chapter 2174. The Void Abyss was the most mysterious place in the underworld. Boundless void energy filled the entire space. Walking into this place was like entering a world of nothingness. Even one's own existence would be doubted. Today, a dark shadow stepped on it and released the dark force, sweeping the land in all directions. The dark dragon devours the sky. Inside the black hood, a pair of cold eyes of all ages began a new journey. The Void Abyss, we meet again. The god of the underworld smiled coldly and looked at the stone door that was filled with an ancient aura. There were all kinds of talismans and inscriptions carved on it like an ancient seal. In the Spirituality Valley, Yi Chen led the powerhouses toward the 7th level. After walking for about an hour, they encountered a powerful spirituality barrier. This kind of barrier could not be broken through no matter what because one would be affected by the spirituality force once they entered it, causing them to lose their cultivation power. Only those who had strong spirituality force and extraordinary mind power could pass through it. Therefore, other than Yi Chen, Wu Shuang, the Patriarch, Old Man Yuming, and other super powerhouses, no one else could move forward. Yi Chen could only open another space barrier and let everyone wait for instructions. Those who could move forward followed Yi Chen into the 7th level of the spirituality barrier. Upon entering, Yi Chen felt a completely different feeling. This feeling made Yi Chen feel an inexplicable force attracting him. Everyone, be careful, Yi Chen reminded everyone. The Patriarch and the others nodded slightly. They also felt that this place was very strange. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Suddenly, a gust of wind appeared in front of them. The wind seemed ordinary, but it contained a powerful spirituality sound. These sounds could infiltrate people's minds and create all kinds of illusions. Psychic defense. Under Yi Chen's guidance, everyone channeled their mind cultivation method to resist the psychic invasion. In the depths of the 7th level of the spirituality barrier, a ball of spiritual light flashed. It was the image of Yi Chen and the others. You've broken through the protection of the 6 great spirituality pools and entered the 7th realm. You're an extraordinary human, but this is the end for you. The 7th spirituality pool slowly appeared. It was a beautiful woman with a graceful figure. Her body flashed with spiritual light like Chang-Yi of the moon who had descended from the 9 heavens. Every man who saw her would be attracted. She extended her finger and pointed at the air. Immediately, a spirit containing white dove appeared and flew toward the 8th floor. Subsequently, she personally headed toward where Yi Chen and the others were. This was a great opportunity. She had already set her sights on Yi Chen's body, and taking over his body was her biggest goal. As long as she took over the body of a genius, her talent could be fully displayed and she could achieve the supreme attainment level. In the 7th barrier, Yi Chen opened his eyes. He wanted to see 10,000 miles with a single glance and see all the obstacles clearly. However, he was disappointed this time. All he saw was an illusory and boundless spiritual convergence. However, he knew very well that this was not real. The 7th spiritual accumulation could not control such a huge spiritual accumulation. Zzz. Suddenly, countless rays of white light appeared in front of him. The white light turned into countless threads that rapidly cut through space. Be careful. Yi Chen turned around to look at the crowd, but he saw that they had disappeared without a trace before his eyes. Their figures slowly sank into the space that was cut by the threads. Clearly, someone had done something to forcefully separate them. Dragon Fist kill. Yi Chen attacked angrily. The dragon chi surged and rushed in all directions, but the dragon chi disappeared one after another. It was disintegrated by the spiritual accumulation. One should know that the dragon chi contained spiritual accumulation power and perfected immortal law. However, it was so weak in the seventh barrier. It was obvious that the seventh spiritual accumulation was far more powerful than the previous spiritual accumulations. Ha, very well, I accept your challenge. Yi Chen sneered and looked at the void. He knew that the seventh spiritual accumulation was looking at him. What an interesting man. I must have your body. The seventh spiritual accumulation revealed a disdainful smile in the strange space. Then, its body merged into the space. Yi Chen was also an expert in the law of space. In the perfected, immortal stage, there were definitely very few people who could understand the law of space as well as Yi Chen. This was because the space-time wrath in his body had absorbed the spiritual accumulation power and evolved many times. Together with the sky serpent black tortoise, it possessed shocking strength. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The surrounding space collapsed rapidly. Yi Chen fell into the endless void and his body kept falling. Roar! At this moment there was a wave of shock. The sky serpent black tortoise appeared under Yi Chen's feet. The sky serpent black tortoise released the power of space and created a space below to carry Yi Chen. Master, it seems that this opponent has a very strong understanding of the law of space. This void-sinking formation can't be underestimated. The sky serpent black tortoise said in a deep voice. Ha, isn't that even better? This is the best chance for you to understand the power of space. Master, you're right. With your ancient God heart technique and my ability to break down the void, we can completely analyze the void in front of us. Then what are we waiting for? Yes. The sky serpent black tortoise obeyed Yi Chen's order. It opened its giant mouth and swallowed the void. The void had already entered the black tortoise's body and began to analyze it with Yi Chen's ancient God heart technique. The ancient God heart technique was evolved by absorbing the purest astral power in the universe. When it was activated, all kinds of space were rapidly broken down and the laws within were clearly visible. This was an extremely powerful mind power and also the most exquisite space ability. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Even so, the sky serpent black tortoise and Yi Chen as a whole continued to sink in the formation of void sinking. Ha ha ha! At this moment, a sharp laughter rang out. It was the seventh spirit root. Seventh spirit root, come out! Yi Chen shouted into the void. You're in extreme danger now. There's no need for me to come out. You're already under my control. Seventh spirit root, you know the fate of the previous sixth spirit root. Only by working with me will you have a chance to survive. You're really stupid to threaten me. The seventh spirit root was enraged. It activated the power of the void-sinking formation and countless void sword rays attacked Yi Chen. In the process of falling, it was impossible to dodge such an attack. However, Yi Chen was a powerful person and the sky serpent black tortoise was powerful. The moment the black tortoise opened its mouth, the sword rays pierced its stomach. The countless void sword rays gave the sky serpent black tortoise more samples to analyze the laws within. Ha, master, analysis successful. Very good. The sky serpent black tortoise sent a message to Yi Chen through telepathy. The void-sinking formation now belongs to me. The heavenly Dharch opened his eyes. With a wave of his hand, the formation reversed. Yi Chen reversed the universe and rushed up. Chapter 2175. How did you figure out the secret of the formation in such a short period of time? Impossible, absolutely impossible. The seventh spiritual pool was completely dumbfounded. It could not believe Yi Chen's talent in formations. No one could find the flaw of such an exquisite formation in such a short period of time. However, Yi Chen had done it. He had even grasped the flow of the formation and counterattacked. Dragon Fist, 8-directional thunder. Yi Chen leaped over the falling void formation and soared into the sky. He threw out a punch that shook the surroundings. Countless fist rays turned into the shape of a dragon and attacked the space in all directions, leaving no chance for the seventh spirituality to hide. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, the earth shook and the spatial vortex sped up. A person walked out in front of Yi Chen. Hee, not bad at all. You managed to force me to reveal my true form. The seventh spirituality looked at Yi Chen with a cold smile and licked its lips seductively. However, Yi Chen's martial will was extremely firm. It was impossible to confuse him. Seventh spirituality, surrender to me and you'll have the chance to live forever. Arrogant kid, do you know the consequences of calling yourself an emperor before me? Consequences? Ha ha ha, there will be no consequences before the heavenly emperor. Yi Chen stared at the seventh spirituality coldly and the space around him shook rapidly. He had activated the falling void formation again. However, this time, the formation was created by Yi Chen and it revolved around the seventh spirituality. The seventh spirituality looked interested. She wanted to see what was so special about the falling void formation that Yi Chen had learned. Yi Chen unleashed his astral convergence force. The seventh astral convergence did not try to evade it. Instead, it stepped on top of the collapse formation. With the help of the exquisite, high-grade astral convergence force, it was able to stabilize its body and prevent it from falling. So what? Yi Chen pointed his sword at the sky and a domineering sword ray bloomed. Slash. The sword struck the spirituality, and the icy sword ray froze the surrounding space. Yi Chen moved at the same time and released the underworld divine power to lock onto the seventh spirituality. 7 kill order, go! The seventh spirituality moved at the same time and activated the 7 kill order. In the blink of an eye, the wind and clouds changed. The mountain wall was shattered and the seal of the 7 kill order shone brightly. Buzz, buzz, buzz! The 7 seals emitted a spiritual light at the same time and locked onto Yi Chen. Yi Chen could feel that his energy was constantly being absorbed by the 7 major killing tokens. It was clear that the strength of the 7th spiritual kernel was not any weaker than the 6 major spiritual kernels combined. It would not be easy to defeat her. Ha ha ha, Yi Chen, although you're talented, your strength is far above the other spiritual accumulations. Moreover, the 6 spiritual accumulations have already sent a message into the spiritual accumulations barrier. We know your strength. You've lost the opportunity to take us by surprise. Very confident words, but before the heavens, your words will only make you look naive. There's a limit to arrogance. Yi Chen, I'll kill you here today. The 7th spiritual root continued to release its spiritual force, triggering the 7 major kill orders to circulate at the same time. Such a powerful energy-absorbing formation caused Yi Chen's figure to sink into it. The collapse formation that he had released earlier had all turned into nothingness, unable to affect the 7th spiritual root at all. Yi Chen, you no longer have a chance. On top of the 7 kill order, countless white lights flashed. The 7 kill order was not only a seal to absorb power, but it was also a killing move to kill. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless extremely penetrative sword chi shot out from the 7 kill order and attacked Yi Chen's body. Dragon Shield. Facing the endless sword energy, Yi Chen activated the 8 dragons' power and instantly formed a dragon shield in front of him to resist the endless sword energy. When the sword energy collided with the dragon shield, Yi Chen felt that his dragon shield was continuously shattering. The penetrating power of the deadly sword energy was something he had never seen before. Ha ha, Yi Chen, I've said that you no longer have a chance. Such a weak defense against my 7 kill order is like throwing an egg against a rock. Seeing that the dragon shield was unable to resist the attack of the 7 kill order, the 7th spiritual root laughed loudly and moved its body, revealing a cold and murderous expression. Black gold glazed dragon scale shield. Facing such a powerful sword energy, Yi Chen roared and continued to release the power of the darkness pool. Together with the two-star ancient god-glazed body, the dragon shield was instantly strengthened to an unimaginable degree. The dragon shield in front of him had undergone a qualitative change. Countless dragon scales were attached to it and covered in black gold-glazed glass. No matter how powerful the 7-kill order was, it could not completely break through the dragon scale shield. Yi Chen relied on the super-strong recovery ability of the darkness pool to completely repair the damage to the dragon scale shield. You want to fight me with such a small ability? 7th spiritual root, you're the one who has lost your last chance. You! It was the first time the 7th spiritual root took Yi Chen seriously. However, as Yi Chen had said, she had lost her last chance. Since the 7-kill order was ineffective, she had lost her trump card. Now it was Yi Chen's turn. With a long roar, Yi Chen used the underworld divine power to cover the entire space. The 7th spiritual root felt as if its consciousness had fallen into endless darkness. It was impossible for it to escape with its spirit body. Devouring Dome. The underworld god's shadow bloomed in the sky and the darkness pool turned into the devouring dome. The entire world was under Yi Chen's control, including the 7th spiritual root. No. Seeing the devouring dome coming down on her, the 7th spiritual root finally revealed a feminine expression. She had never thought that she would be defeated by Yi Chen so easily. Yi Chen was just a rookie who had just become a true immortal. He should not be this powerful. However, the truth spoke louder than words. Yi Chen had proven her wrong with his strength. Rumble. Under the devouring dome, no power could survive. The 7th spiritual root could only enter the world that Yi Chen had prepared for her and merge with the other 6 spiritual root. After Yi Chen had devoured the 7th spiritual root, the entire spirit-nurturing valley was shaken. This was because Yi Chen had touched the core of the spirit-nurturing valley. The 7th spiritual root was the limit that the strongest person in the spirit-nurturing valley could tolerate. If she failed, it would mean that Yi Chen's ambition was so great that he would devour everything. At the bottom of the spirit-nurturing valley, above the holy fire temple. The 7th spiritual root has failed. The 9th spiritual root said coldly from the throne. Underestimating the enemy. This is what she deserves. The 8th spiritual root said. Don't underestimate this brat. Although he helped us gather the power of the 7 spiritual roots, you should know that once the 7 spiritual roots merge, this brat will have a qualitative change. So what? If we join forces, even the 7 spiritual roots won't be a match for us. As long as we occupy his body, we'll be the most powerful beings. Then we'll do as you say. Ha ha ha, that's the right choice. The 8th and 9th spiritual roots looked up at the sky at the same time. There was only one figure in their eyes. It was Yi Chen. Chapter 2176. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. A massive spatial vortex appeared 3,000 feet above the river of death. Demonic energy swept through the world like never before. The leader of the Red Demon clan, True Demon Qi Yan, led the most majestic Red Demon army and descended. With Yi Chen's super senses, he naturally sensed such a massive energy impact that reached 3,000 feet below the river of death. The demon martial world is really persistent. At this moment, Yi Chen had already integrated the 7 soul accumulations. His strength had increased by hundreds of times, and his foundation was comparable to a peak mystic immortal. He had even mastered the powerful martial arts of the 7 soul accumulations and had mastered the use of the soul accumulations to a high degree. Therefore, no matter how many powerhouses from the demon martial world came, he was not afraid. However, he knew that the 7 soul accumulations were not the limit in this soul nursery valley. The truly powerful beings were in the temple 9,000 feet below. After devouring the 7 soul accumulations, Yi Chen also sensed the 2 strongest domains. He also knew that the other party had also sensed his existence and was probably waiting for him to walk into the trap. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, Qi Yen released boundless demonic energy above the 9 heavens. The powerful force shook the world and shattered all the spatial barriers, exposing the entire Soul Nursery Valley to the heavens. Ha ha ha, the Soul Nursery Valley is the most magical place of creation. I want to obtain your strongest power and let the Red Demon Clan rise. The Qi flame soared into the sky, spewing out endless demonic flames that instantly engulfed the entire Yellow Springs. Everywhere was covered in flames, and everywhere was filled with misery and suffering. The entire earth veins and terrain had undergone drastic changes. Now, the Yellow Springs had become the base of the Red Demon race. Lord Demon Lord is mighty! Countless Demon Clan powerhouses shouted. This had become the Demon Clan's territory, their home field. Lord Qi Yen, the Soul Nursery Valley is 1,000 miles ahead. According to my senses, Demon Venerable Qingyu died in battle there. Demon Venerable Hailin said. Qi Yen nodded slightly, then steered the demonic ship toward the Soul Nursery Valley. At the same time, above the clouds, a thundercloud flashed. Qi Yan's eyes turned cold. Although it was only for a moment, he definitely sensed the existence of a powerful immortal power. It seems like the Red Demon Clan is not the only one interested in the Soul Nursery Valley. Lord Yen, what did you sense? Demon Venerable Hailin, stay here and keep an eye on the 9 heavens. I think the primordial immortal empire is up to something big. Don't worry, Master Qi Yen. If anyone from the primordial immortal empire dares to come, I will make sure they never return. Very well, the 3 of you will bring 100,000 devil soldiers to the spirit-storing valley with me. Yes. After receiving the order, the 3 demon venerables, White Eyes, Nine-Tailed, and Qiong Long led the army to follow the Flame Qi Demon Lord. Yi Chun descended upon the deepest part of the spirit-nurturing valley. Looking around, Yi Chun could feel the suppression of the Qi root. Even when he was on the 7th floor, he did not feel this suppression with the help of the 6 Qi root. However, at this moment, even though he had merged with the 7 Qi roots, he still felt this suppression. This meant that the strength of the 8th and 9th Qi roots was beyond his imagination. Yi Chun. A voice came from high up in the sky. Yi Chun looked ahead and saw a ball of light appearing high up in the sky. Subsequently, it transformed into a human figure. This person had a sage-like demeanor and was in the form of an old man. However, Yi Chun could tell at a glance that everything before him was an illusion. This person's real body was not in this form. You're the 8th Qi root, Yi Chun said. That's right, it's me. You've devoured the power of the 7 Qi roots and committed a sin of killing. Do you still not repent? Killing? Sinful? Ah. Yi Chun did not expect this person to say such a ridiculous thing. This kind of old excuse made Yi Chun feel very bored. In this deep valley, the 9 Qi roots had absorbed the essence of countless combatants. They had killed countless people. Now, this person said that devouring the Qi roots was a sin of killing. How ridiculous! Bastard! Seeing Yi Chun's disdain, the 8th Qi root was enraged and shouted. Return to my control immediately with the 9th Qi root. This is the only way for you. Ridiculous! Do you really think you're invincible just because you've defeated the 7 Qi roots? Do you know that I can easily destroy your foundation of Qi roots? If that's the case, why do you have to say so much? Idiot! You! The 8th Qi root was enraged by Yi Chun. It activated the power of the Qi roots and used various spells to attack Yi Chun. Come on! Yi Chun's eyes focused. He wanted to end this quickly because the magic martial world and other forces might come here. After all, Qi Yan's demonic fire prairie had completely alarmed the combatants in Jiotian City. I'll let you show yourself first. Activating the 9 Thunder God Dharma form, thunder and lightning struck behind Yi Chun. The true immortal law activated the 9 Thunder God Dharma form, and the surrounding space instantly fell into the Thunder God territory. What? The eighth chi root was shocked when it sensed the powerful thunder divine power that targeted the astral body. After all, the thunder divine power was like a heavenly tribulation. This was the power that Yi Chun had unleashed after devouring the 9 thunder god Dharma form. Even the eighth chi root, who had mastered the astral body to the peak, could not continuously use the apparition to fight the enemy in this territory. Die! The eighth chi root was furious. Countless chi root spears rose from the ground like sharp mountains, piercing through everything. Heavenly Thunder God Palm. Facing such a killing formation, Yi Chun glared and attacked with his palm. Rumble! With the help of the 9 Thunder God Dharma form and the Thunder God killing formation, Yi Chun's palm had the power to kill gods and destroy Buddhas. In an instant, the 9,000 spears were shattered. Rocks were thrown into the air, and waves crashed on the shore. The scene was magnificent and indescribable. Impossible! The 8th spiritual colonel thought that since his killing formation was so well hidden, he would be able to severely injure Yi Chun. However, Yi Chun was completely unscathed while his killing formation had been shattered by the Thunder God's palm. Go! The 8th chi root wanted to summon the apparition back, but Yi Chun would not give him the chance. Burning Sky Melting Hand. Yi Chun activated the power of the Thunder God territory and the mystical flame, burning the sky and melting the earth. In an instant, the thunder and fire double formation locked the chi root, and the 8th chi root's apparition had nowhere to hide. You! Enter my control. Yi Chun did not kill him directly. Instead, he sealed him in the ancient god space. This way, it would be possible to find the 8th and 9th chi root. Rumble! At this moment, the spirit reservoir valley shook and a demonic path appeared. Ah! The demon laughed wildly and its power shook the sky. The Chi Yen demon master appeared with the 3 demon venerables. Yi Chun, thank you so much for helping me find the chi root. Chapter 2177. The flame chi demon lord descended and the scene became chaotic again. The demon martial world's red demon clan was overbearing. Yi Chun looked at the sky coldly. The flame chi demon lord's body was covered in demonic flames and his demonic energy was overbearing. He was like a demon god from hell, insufferably arrogant. Faced with such a situation, Yi Chun knew that this was not the time to fight head-on. He could use the 8th astral root illusion to do something. After all, this illusion contained many astral root. Ha, who are you? Facing such a powerful opponent, Yi Chun was not afraid and asked with a cold smile. Facing such a situation, you can still speak to me naturally. Kid, you're extraordinary indeed. I am the Chi Yen Devil Master, the leader of the Red Devil Clan. This time, I have come from the Devil Martial Realm, and I have sworn to seize the power of the spiritual accumulation. Hand over the spiritual accumulation that you control immediately, and perhaps I can consider making you my slave. The Flame Chi Demon Lord replied. Slave? Ha ha ha, you're still dreaming. With that, Yi Chun flew toward the void. Trying to leave? What a pity! With a pity, the Flame Chi Demon Lord waved his claws. Instantly, a vast demonic energy barrier appeared in the void and pressed down, sealing off all escape routes. Vast demonic energy, true demon power, a foundation that was completely different from the previous opponents. Facing such power, Yi Chun's eyes turned cold. Star-picking palm. Yi Chun mastered it. It was the same ability but with different effects. The vast star-picking palm absorbed endless astral energy from the 9 heavens and turned it into gales of astral whirlwinds that violently countered. Boom, boom, boom. The starlight bombarded the magic barrier, but it didn't have the slightest effect. Such a powerful demonic energy barrier was the power of a true demon. Ha ha! How can a mere immortal like you resist the power of a true demon? Surrender now. What a joke! Yi Chun sneered and threw out a green light that instantly turned into the immortal drift bottle. Go! The immortal drift bottle contained the power of the universe and endless essence of the sun and moon. It instantly spewed out and rushed toward the demonic energy barrier. Sensing the powerful energy in the immortal drift bottle, the Flame Chi Demon Lord was shocked. It is indeed a good treasure. Such a treasure should belong to this demon master. Come and get it yourself if you can. How dare you provoke me? Yi Chen, you'll die a terrible death. Ha ha ha. In the face of the true demon powerhouses of the demon martial world, Yi Chen's domineering attitude did not change. This was the dignity of a heavenly emperor. Who could deny it? Ninth Heaven U steps. A golden lotus appeared under Yi Chen's feet. Combined with space law and his movement technique, he quickly vanished into thin air. Damn it! The Qi Yen demon master was enraged. As the saying went, 100 secrets could lead to a flaw. In a space within the magic barrier, a loophole had appeared in the formation, and Yi Chen had found it. This person's perception and perception are so strong that I've never seen anything like it before. Even this demon master has just discovered such a flaw. Lord Qi Yen, we seem to be in the territory of the 8th spiritual accumulation. Should we search for the spiritual accumulation? White-eyed demon sovereign asked. I'll deal with that kid in the future. Right now, I need to find the 2 strongest spiritual accumulations. As long as I can get those 2 spiritual accumulations, that kid has 7 spiritual accumulations. I'll be able to find him even if he runs to the ends of the earth. Yes. The white-eyed demon Venerable Master and the other 2 searched for the whereabouts of the 8th spiritual pool instead of chasing after Yi Chen. After leaving the magic barrier, Yi Chen walked out of a spatial vortex. As he was in too much of a hurry, he had unleashed his strongest spatial energy. He did not know where he would appear. He looked around and found that he was still in the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. It was obvious that the Spirit-Nurturing Valley was much larger than he had imagined. However, although there was the aura of the spiritual accumulation here, it was completely different from before. This might not be the territory of the 8th spiritual accumulation. Yi Chen was puzzled. Where was this place? He carefully observed and felt that this should not be the territory of the 9th spiritual accumulation, but a very special place in the Spirit-Nurturing Valley. Relying on the connection of the spiritual accumulation, Yi Chen walked toward the place where the aura of the spiritual accumulation was the strongest. After walking for about an hour, he found a place that looked like a sacrificial altar. Yi Chen carefully looked at the sacrificial altar before him and found that there were waves of immortal energy coming from the sacrificial altar. The immortal energy contained powerful immortal power and laws. It was definitely above the true immortal level. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! Sensing Yi Chen's arrival, 4 candles appeared around the sacrificial altar. Under the illumination of the candles, the surrounding space brightened. Yi Chen found that there were many murals engraved on the surrounding mountain walls. These murals depicted the events of the immortal realm. Primordial immortal realm. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the various murals. Waves of immortal energy surged in the murals, making the murals seem like they were coming to life. Yi Chen had seen such a scene too many times, but this time was different. True immortal realm. Yi Chen released his true immortal power and sensed the energy in the murals. Hiss, hiss, hiss. As Yi Chen released the true immortal realm, the murals began to react. Extremely vigorous immortal power was circulating within them. Ha! The heavens are helping me. Although I have the support of the spiritual accumulation after entering the true immortal stage, my foundation is still too weak. This time, I'll absorb the energy in this place. Yi Chen took out the immortal drift bottle and aimed it at the murals. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. As Yi Chen's divine consciousness moved, the immortal drift bottle and Yi Chen's mind connected. Following the Heavenly Emperor's order, it began to absorb the pure immortal power in the murals. This time, Yi Chen had an additional safety measure. He absorbed the energy into the immortal drift bottle first. Not only could he verify if the energy had other side effects, but he could also purify the energy. It was killing two birds with one stone. Moonlight Ascension. Yi Chen tossed out the Eight Gates divine disc and released the power of the Eight Gate. He used the art of divination and evolved the light of the sun and the moon. He withdrew the sunlight and left the full moon in the sky. Immediately, the immortal drift bottle activated the super-powerful realm and absorbed the immortal power in the murals. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The various immortal power in the murals poured into the immortal drift bottle continuously. Subsequently, the immortal drift bottle emitted an immortal light. Under the full moon, it operated on its own and absorbed the immortal power. Yi Chen sensed it. It's so pure. Without being purified by the immortal drift bottle, the immortal power was already of the highest grade. If that's the case, I'll just refine it. Yi Chen activated his mental cultivation method. The immortal drift bottle refined the immortal power and sprinkled it on top of Yi Chen's head. Immediately, the immortal power surged wildly as if it was enlightened. Yi Chen felt that his entire body was bathed in a sea of immortal power. That feeling was too shocking. His sea of energy surged, and he built up an endless foundation. 9 Thunder God Materialization. The immortal power in front of him was like an endless ocean. Yi Chen released the heavenly Tao materialization. The 9 Thunder God appeared and opened its mouth to absorb the immortal power. After being converted by the immortal drift bottle, the speed at which Yi Chen and the Thunder God materialization absorbed the immortal power increased 100 times. Chapter 2178. Surging immortal power surged into Yi Chen's Qi Reserve and Thunder God avatar. Yi Chen felt his strength skyrocketing. The energy he had consumed in the battle against the Qi Yen Demon Lord was completely restored. Ah! The immortal power in his Qi Reserve gathered the astral soul. Yi Chen roared and all the murals on the walls exploded at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. When the murals exploded, a spirit orb appeared in each of the murals. What's this? Yi Chen was curious. He sensed the power of the spirit orbs and found that these spirit orbs contained various immortal power laws. These laws were arranged precisely and were clearly extraordinary. Is this some kind of magical power? Without thinking, Yi Chen used his immortal power and kept all the spirit orbs into his bag. They were the 18 immortal power spirit orbs. As Yi Chen collected the 18 immortal power spirit orbs, the 4 candles on the altar suddenly became extremely bright. Following that, they shot a beam of light toward the center of the altar. Instantly, the entire altar was activated. Under the illumination of the 4 candles, Yi Chen saw a Buddha avatar appear above the altar. How is this possible? Yi Chen was shocked. This Buddha avatar was too unusual. It contained thousands of magical powers, and he could even sense the energy of the source of the Qi Yen. 10,000 years of cultivation, 1,000 miles of wind, impossible to cross, die in this mountain. Suddenly, waves of Buddha's voice resounded through the void, giving Yi Chen a great shock and impact. He looked at the golden Buddha. It was thousands of feet tall and towered into the sky. Its body shone with golden light like a rainbow covering the world, majestic and awe-inspiring. Yi Chen had to figure out what was going on in front of him when he saw such a strange scene. Where did the fated one come from? Ha, I'm Yi Chen from Earth. Earth, a lowly realm, can produce such an amazing genius. How magical! Who are you? I'm the heavenly spirit Buddha and also the source of the Qi Yen Valley. Back then, I cultivated the Qi Yen Dharma and wanted to use the ultimate Qi Yen to achieve nirvana, but I failed and could not ascend to heaven. I could only die here. Since you've activated the 18 immortal power spirit orbs, you're my successor. What? Yi Chen smiled and looked at the majestic Buddha. He continued, It's just a coincidence that I'm here. I don't want to be anyone's successor. Yi Chen knew too little about the heavenly spirit Buddha. He did not want to be led by the nose because it was too easy to fall into someone else's trap. Yi Chen was even wondering if this was a trap set by the 8th or 9th spiritual reserve. Yi Chen knew very well that as the rank increased, the strength and willpower of the spirit kernel would improve. No one knew how powerful the 8th and 9th spirit kernel would be when they had yet to appear. Since the 18 immortal force spirit pearls have appeared, you can't escape from this sovereign's inheritance arrangements. Besides, your body has already fused with 7 of my spiritual accumulations. If you want to fuse with the last 2 spiritual accumulations, you can only do it with my inheritance. Otherwise, even if you fuse with 9 spiritual accumulations, you will be devoured by the spiritual accumulations and die. How can I trust you? It's very simple. What I can't do, I will make you do it. Back then, I went against heaven and couldn't survive. Today, I'll teach you the heavenly spirit Dharma so that you can become the strongest spiritual accumulations. It'll be a piece of cake for you to ascend to the 9 heavens and travel the 9 earths. Is it really that powerful? It's better to put it into practice than to doubt. Moreover, you've lost your choice. Suddenly, the Buddha opened his eyes and golden light shone. Yi Chen instantly fell into the unprecedentedly powerful Buddha realm. Sensing the powerful power of the Buddha's Dharma realm before him, Yi Chen could not help but recall the scene when he was still a heavenly emperor. At that time, he had also fought a Buddha. Although that Buddha was much more powerful than the one before him, in terms of spiritual energy and Dharma, the miraculous creation of this Buddha before him was still above that one. Although the Buddha before him had failed to go against heaven, he was definitely a genius Buddha. No matter who you are, I won't let you do whatever you want. After all, Yi Chen was a heavenly emperor. He had absolute dignity in martial Tao. How could he be manipulated by others? Heavenly Thunder God Palm. Activating the Thunder God form, the Grand Palm print carried the might of the heavenly thunder and came crashing down, directly attacking the Buddha. Such powerful heavenly Tao power. Your talent is far beyond my imagination. The heavens are on my side. The Buddha smiled and casually pinched a flower. Instantly, the golden Dharma realm surged with vigorous immortal power again. It was like the waves of the sea, attacking powerfully. Yi Chen felt that he had fallen into the Mirage Sea. The Thunder God form was automatically suppressed by the Mirage Sea and could not launch another palm print. This, the strength of the Buddha before him, had also exceeded Yi Chen's imagination. He did not expect that the Thunder God form could not cause any damage to the Buddha statue. Instead, he had fallen into the Mirage Sea. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! The Mirage Sea was turbulent. Yi Chen felt that he could not even stand. A golden lotus grew under his feet. Yi Chen waved the Heavenly Emperor's sword and slashed at the waves. Slash! The Heavenly Emperor's sword could slash the universe. Its power was infinite and boundless. It was originally an extreme power, but in the Buddha Mirage Sea, it was useless. Yi Chen could feel that the Buddha did not want to kill him. However, the situation before him was also a trial. It did not matter whether he inherited the Buddha's mantle or not. Since that was the case, there was no need to think too much. Fighting was the only solution. Heavenly Emperor Order, Earth Sword Reverse Slash. Boundless sword energy gathered into a reverse slash. The first slash destroyed the waves, and the second slash exploded the Mirage Sea. Boom, boom, boom. The boundless sword energy swept out, making the Buddha Mirage Sea feel like the seas were drying up and the rocks were crumbling. Such divine might made the heavenly spirit Buddha very satisfied. A mere true immortal has such a foundation and powerful abilities. It seems that you're definitely not an ordinary person. Such a heavenly emperor might even remind me of the moment when I failed to defy the heavens. I felt so small. Are you from the heavenly realm? Oh? I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable. If that's the case, Then I won't let you get through this safely this time. How about venting the unwillingness of failing to defy the heavens? Heavenly Spirit Buddha. Good lad, you've got guts. I'll fulfill your wish. The Heavenly Spirit Buddha was furious. The scene of him failing to defy the heavens was still vivid in his mind. If the person in front of him was really from the heavenly realm, this was a chance for revenge. How could he let it go? However, the Heavenly Spirit Buddha was furious. The flower-picking hand turned into a powerful killing palm and went straight for Yi Chen. Good one. Feeling the Heavenly Spirit Buddha's murderous intent, Yi Chen's fighting spirit rose.